everything that you want to say. And by the way, because I have shared so much personal information in many different places, and I'm very aware of what I have shared. I am very, very careful, even the most personal things that I have shared. So if it's in there, just know that I was okay with you learning it. To be honest with you, I don't really have too many secrets. The one thing that I hold to myself, and I want you, and I want to recommend to everyone here right now, is that I don't think it's a good idea to have very strong political, religious, information out there. Everything is forever, right? So it's like if you just fill the waves with a lot of empowering information and then funny anecdotes. If you know me personally or you've been around me at Fridays with Doria, you know that I'm quite funny and have a wicked sense of humor. And by the way, for those of you that meet me, I'm sorry that I disappoint you that I'm not 6 foot 6 foot high. Everybody thinks I'm a giant, Aaron. People say to
Really?
me, "Oh my God,
Oh, if they
you're not
only
as
knew.
big as I thought you were going to be." Anyway, so Aaron, what would you add to this information? What should the public know on? You have that architecture, you have things like clones, you have books. What now would you say to the audience? How to monetize that?
Yeah, well, I think for us, it starts with your message, right? Like, what's your message to the market, right? And Tom Bilyeu is somebody that I love. He said marketing is just a fancy 9-letter word for test. And so you got to be diligent in testing different angles, seeing what works, what resonates with your audience. For example, one of our clients is Robert Allen that we work with, and we teach people how to become best-selling authors, like we helped with Doria. And one of the things we've noticed, like we were really changing our messaging on getting people, and we found that business people and people in personal development were our best niche. So, and we discovered that through testing. And so I just think it's important to just find the right avatar. So who is the person that you're specifically writing the message for? How does it benefit them? And how can they easily do business with you, get to know you, like you, trust you? We do like virtual summits for free. It educates them on our process, indoctrinates them, and then we upsell them into different level of programs, from done with you to done for you programs, to help them become best-selling authors. So I think the biggest thing is just testing what messages work and figuring out who is your perfect avatar, who's the customer, who's the person that you're going after that's going to actually do business with you, and what's the right message to put in front of them.
So the thing is that how, like for instance, I really wanted you to share when you came to me and you said, we really need to have your people really support you with the book. And I remember
Yeah.
going, okay, I don't know if I really want that. It's like, remember that it had to be a little bit on discernibility, and I don't want to bother the
Right.
graduates too much, and and it's asking them too much and all this and that.
Sure.
And people were so happy to support. They were.
Yeah, that's one of the things you'll find is that people want to support you, and then you can make it a win-win. Like what we did with Doria, we called it a super fan strategy. And we put together all these bonuses. If you become a super fan, you get all this extra training, VIP access, you get a copy of the book, all this great stuff. And the super fan strategy, they get on a Zoom with us, and we educate them on how to promote the book and how to promote it to their network. If they promote it to 10 people, if they get 10 people to buy the book and then leave reviews, then when we do it all on the same day, we have a launch day, and we get people to flood in to buy it. So it pushes it to number one. And we have them review the book honestly as well, because reviews on Amazon are what really drive book sales. The more reviews, the better, especially if it's a really good book that helps a lot of people. And so we implemented that super fan strategy, and gosh, we had 150, 200 people on as super fans, and that really helped us with launch day and push the book to a huge success. So leveraging your network, creating a win-win for them, and letting them help you, is a great strategy to launch a book and get some good momentum, because now that you have those reviews, you got the sales. Now you could, when you do ongoing promotion, it actually has some traction. so that they see that this is actually a viable, legitimate book that people are consuming and getting great value from.
Thank you so very much. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to bring back our beautiful Stacy. So Stacy, let me see. Let me just put you over here. I'm learning here. Learning as you go, all right? So what other distinctions, Stacy, would you like to share with the audience about how to build an economic engine? I mean, the reason why we're working together is because of my dream in North America to build an economic engine here. And our beautiful Peter Swain, who I so wanted in this place, and he is so busy, and he'll be back in future programs. So Peter Swain introduced us. And then you began to see a bit of my vision, but then you brought a whole other element of the vision. So what would you say to the audience, whether they're just getting started or they're very successful? What is the key thing in order for you to create a viable, profitable, ongoing economic engine that you can sell?
Yes, you must have infrastructure. And that is a really, really big word for systems, something that is creating duplication, scalability, just repeating, so you don't have to keep doing the same thing twice. That is the most important thing. You as the leader, as the authority, the brand, the messenger, you have to be able to really understand what is your zone of genius and what's not. And the more you can have the right systems and build that container for your community. I think for a lot of visionaries, it's easy for us to be like, systems, don't put me in a box, right? Like structure, rebelling. But really what that's doing is it is the right level. I call it like the bumpers on the bowling lane. It's just enough so that it creates direction and intention. And it's that space for your community and your impact to compound. So you really need the systems and the structure. And the more you can be in all of it, that's the best.
And are there particular skills that somebody needs to have, or what kind of a person do you work with? Maybe you can describe yourself, because it's so many people. Like I have interviewed a dozen people since I decided to do the economic engine here in North America, probably in the last 3 years. And it was here where Mo and I reconnected during COVID. So that was about 5-6 years ago. We reconnected in Clubhouse. And then that's when I realized, oh my God, I have to bring back. I mean, I'm so happy and so leveraged in the Pacific, but I got to bring it back to America. And then I began to interview people and do all these things. And then I would meet wonderful people like Aaron, wonderful people like Chris that have these elements that I really need, but yet nobody really created that context. And many people say that they can do it. So what do we look for? Can you help us out? What is a profile of somebody that really knows how to build an economic engine?
One is really understanding what their zone of genius is. And like I said at the beginning, it can actually be a blind spot because it's the thing that makes time disappear. That becomes the most scalable and compounding thing that you can build into an economic engine, because it is the easiest, simplest pathway to financial success and wealth. So I think that really becomes the crutch, because there's a lot of things people are really good at. Perhaps you could call it a superpower, but it actually drains your batteries, and those energy leaks on the front end become profit leaks on the back end. But the genius is the thing that energizes you. It becomes that thing that just is self-fueling. And then when you combine that with the right systems and structure, then you have an engine for your wealth building, your legacy, and beyond.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Okay. So as we begin to complete, Chris, give us a couple of minutes of your genius. What would you like the group to know?
Well, I want you to know that this is really the time to look into AI and to understand what is happening. Uh, all the insiders are all up in arms. They know how fast AI is progressing. Did you know that AI got 100 times as intelligent during the last year? It's mind-blowing what's going on there, but yeah, 95% of all people have no idea. Yeah, maybe 10% play a little bit with AI and they use it. But this is the one of the biggest changes since maybe the Industrial Revolution that we're going through. And it's going to hit very hard already this year and next year, as 50% of all office jobs, everything you do on a computer, AI can pretty much do better already. And we, at the same time, we're getting robots that are truly, that look like humans and are truly intelligent. And they're just like 2 years behind. And this year, you can buy a robot for your home that stands around and helps you with the laundry and talks to you. There's huge things happening. So the easiest thing you can do is go on YouTube, see who you can listen to. I particularly like Peter Diamandis because he's very much on the positive end, that we're entering an age of abundance. We just don't quite know yet how it will come to pass. Please, if you want to talk about AI, email me. We can set up a consultation and miss this. This is one of the biggest civilizatory adventures that we're going into.
Thank you so much. So very quickly, this reminds me that we want to flood the internet. We want you to put everything up. Right now, think of the very beginning of electricity. Think of the very beginning of a whole new industry. It hasn't even gotten started. It has and it hasn't. So right now, everything that you put up on the internet, everything that you put up, all your articles, web pages, anything that you do out in the world, all your comments, everything that you do in Facebook is going in the internet. So what you want to do is you want to start really filling it up with nothing but goodness. So this is why it's probably not a good idea to be putting down whatever that it is that you don't like or whatever it is that you don't agree with, because that's going in there and it's going into a place where it adds to more negativity. And I don't mean that I am blind to what needs to be done, but I do a lot of work in the background for me to have a world that works for 100% of humanity. So, and it's important for you to be writing books, writing blogs, and when your mind comes up with who do you think you are, that's just your deservability, or even you attract friends. I mean, just recently in the last 2 or 3 years, and I've been doing this for 47 years, working on my life for 50 years. And I had one of my closest best friends from 50 years ago, and I was telling her something very simple that I was doing. And she just looked at me and she goes, "Who do you think you are?" And I went, "Well, I haven't heard that in a long time from anybody." And I went, "What do you mean?" She says, "Well, it just really sounds like you're really bragging. You know, it's like, please." So she was seeing me as we were back in the day in 1974, 1975, when we were 24, 25 years old, and we were driving around listening to the Doobie Brothers, right? And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I know that I attracted that reaction for me to really work on my deservability, because there was a little part of me that just went, yeah, who do I think I am? You know what? It doesn't matter what I think I am. It's like what matters is that you're taking actions that are going to add value to humanity. And now, right now, at this particular moment, everything of value, everything that's good, all of us here in this particular event are about putting all of this information into the waves. That's what we're doing. We're making a small contribution, but it's a huge contribution because this is all going out. It's going to go out. It's going to be leveraged. And I just found out that it's not on my Facebook. So we're going to fix that in a minute. And so what I need to do is I'm going to put it in all my pages and everywhere. So this is really important. And so I like, and Erin, I want to just let you know that I'm so grateful to you and to Lindsay for everything that you did for me to get my word out there, for me to get my information out there. And I think that we're all practicing, all of you here are practicing the ultimate leverage.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And we were grateful to do it. It was an honor to do it because I firmly believe in the training. I went in 2017 and it's made a huge impact in my life. So, it was an honor to do it. And I need to come back and take a refresher because it's crazy that it's already been 9 years. It's hard to think about, but since then I've been able to launch a successful marketing agency that's done millions of dollars itself and tens of millions of dollars from our clients. And so a lot of that was from the principles and teachings and networking at the Money and You event. And so I just can't recommend it enough. I know you got one coming up in April. So anybody that can attend, they absolutely should, that wants to get their money right.
Well, you have a lifetime membership for life. All graduates, you can go to any program anywhere in any language and come back.
That's a great perk. Yeah.
So what some last wisdom, what would you like to say to the audience about that will make a difference to them to get the word out? And just tell us a little bit more.
Yeah. So anybody that's struggling today selling their programs, their trainings, their courses, it comes down to trust these days. There's so many options in the market. How do you build trust? And the best way to do that is to make your free stuff that you give that people interact with, make it better than your competitors' paid stuff. And you have to be willing to invest in your customer before you ask your customer to invest in you. Because when you do that, then they'll come chasing after you. If you help them get unstuck with something for free, and your free stuff's so good, then when you offer something that's paid, they'll be like, well, gosh, their free stuff is so good. Imagine what their paid stuff is. And the best example of this is Alex Hormozi. He gives his content that he gives away for free is incredible. And so then when he pitches his books with his systems behind it, his live trainings, people flock to them because they're like, God, what's this going to be like learning from this guy? I get great YouTube videos every single day from this guy that have made my business successful. So he's a good model to follow. And that's what we do with our stuff is we do free virtual summits where we train, educate people, get to know them. What are their problems? How can we help them? And then it's a lot easier to sell them things when you've invested in them first.
Thank you so very much. All right, everyone. So where is Donna around here? Donna, are you there in the background? I just wonder whether she has anything to share. All right. So thank you so much for taking time of your busy day. I know that you are in between appointments and you showed up for us. Thank you so much for that. And we're going to be bringing another couple of wonderful people up here and get ready for another blast of knowledge. We still have, I can't remember right now what time. Oh, yes, at 2:30 we have beautiful John Gray. And, he always moves into the sex part. So for those of you, money, sex, we're going to cover it all today. So make sure that you join us. And then, of course, we are going to go ahead and then we have Sharon Lecter, who wrote the foreword, and of course our rock star Money and You graduate too, and so she'll be on, and then we'll have different people and just keep passing the wisdom to everyone. Thank you so much, Donna. Anything that you would like to say, ask about this? Oh, are you muted?
I was muted backstage here. Your guys' wisdom with all of your expertise has been truly, truly priceless. And Dame Doria, this is just a small sliver of the caliber of the people that come to Money and You, that show up at the accelerated business schools to teach and share their wisdom for that infinite knowledge. And, you know, we are truly, truly blessed to have all three of you with us and to be here. And I'm going to say backstage here, I was enjoying everything. I was having this thought, I'm going to have to do this, but I'm actually going to go make some popcorn because we are here to enjoy the show and to learn. So I love it. So thank you.
Thank you. Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're going to let you go there. And I just wonder, Donna, okay, so what we're going to do is I was hoping that you could be part of the next panel, if you don't mind. I know that you're the hostess, but I really want you to go. We're going to have beautiful John Block coming up and Knock. And we are going to, I would love for you to share about media and impact, right? If you can come in with that hat on. And then I'll go ahead and introduce John and Knock here in a minute here. So are you ready to get into your teaching mode?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you so much. So let's bring him up. Thank you so much.
So you want John up and Knock? Yes?
Yeah, together,
Okay.
yes.
Let's
And
just bring
thank you so much. And one of the reasons I wanted them together was because I met Knock through John Block and John and Mancy. And one of the things that I really appreciate is that, of course, the fact that Knock is Vietnamese, but also she's a CPA. So she's going to bring a whole element. I want you to talk about financial strategies and to give your wisdom around that, what an entrepreneur, people need to know in order to create wealth. And then I brought you John, and Mansi is in India right now. And the reason I brought John is because they have a very beautiful platform that has to do with retreats, and they do a lot of work in a beautiful Buckminster Fuller dome, which of course I absolutely love. And they invite me to come and teach to their tribe. But I also feel that he has really learned how to monetize certain aspects of retreats and things, and that he can also share some financial information. So I got the three of you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have you, of course, Knock is coming to the next Money and You, and of course, John is already a graduate, you're a graduate. So I'm going to have you, Donna, kind of lead this more than I'm going to step back. And if you can just go ahead and lead the group and then also share your genius. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right. We are actually going to start off here with a Knock. I want to know a little bit more about you because I am just meeting you for the first time. And then being in the financial world, especially in the Pacific Asia, share with us a little bit about you and what you do and your passion for being here today.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to be a part of this platform, Doria. My background is I came to the U.S. as a Vietnamese refugee in 1979 and escaped my country back then. And growing up poor in the Bay Area, parents were divorced when I was in my teens. So I grew up like putting myself through college, going to school full time, working full time, and then graduated with an accounting finance degree. Ended up working for one of the big four CPA firm as an auditor. That started my career, and then I went to work as a controller for multiple companies, for 3 companies, and realized while I was in the corporate world that I didn't learn what I was supposed to learn about wealth building, and left corporate about 4 years ago to start my own accounting practice with my partner. He's a tax guy, and I'm the CPA wealth strategist. So today what I do is I'm a fractional CFO for multiple companies, and I help them with strategies, get them tax ready, raise ready, and exit ready. In 12 months, I've helped raise $86 million in different strategies. And we just recently closed around a few days ago for a startup company in the SaaS space. So what I'm passionate about is helping company understand their money and the money that's coming in when you raise money, you're a steward of that money. So you have to be responsible to understand how to manage that money, because that's money that people entrust in you to build your business. And in return, they also get to be a part of your company. So I'm passionate about helping companies and also individuals too, to empower them in understanding financial health.
I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that there. And you've been through Money and You, right?
I'm actually enrolled to come to
Enrolled
the
to
coming
come
event.
up.
Yes.
Okay. So with all of the things that you do, there is a principle in Money and You about leverage. Now, I know that's not a new concept. They teach it a little bit differently in Money and You, but how do you use leverage in your life today?
Oh my goodness, all the time. I don't know what I don't know. And there's a lot of things that even as CPAs, we don't see what we don't see. So I leverage my community, especially John Block. I'm part of John Block's community. And within that, I leverage his expertise in communication. I have a community of other people who are sales and marketing, financial advisors, attorneys. So every time I'm the ecosystem. So CPAs are the most trusted people. So what I do is I am the center that people come to. So when they ask me for support, I would look into my network and say, hey, who's the best person that I trust to bring in and introduce them to my clients? So to me, leverage is everything, because I don't know everything, and I rely on all the people that's in my ecosystem to support me.
Absolutely, absolutely true there. So I am going to switch over here to John just for a minute. I know you and we were graduates together in Money and You this last year. So share with us a little bit in Dame Doria's words, what say you?
About Money and You, or about what we're doing here at the Abundance Retreat Club?
Yes, that about Money and You.
Okay, well, I love the concept of leverage, and we're definitely embodying that ourselves with us owning our property at which we host our retreats, as opposed to spending $15,000, $25,000 on venues per event as we were in the past. And Money and You, I cannot praise highly enough in terms of the games, the ways of just so subtly. I'm an experienced creator myself, so I really love the nuance of the wording, and then the people who are drawn to it too are ones who, in my view, are doing the highest work there is, which is confronting their money shadows, all that darkness, ego, control impulse, attachment to money. You go there to transform all that, and you leave liberated with a lot of practical tools too.
Absolutely. Absolutely there. So with Money and You, you've gone through the whole course. Without giving away too much, what was part of your most favorite aspect of the whole workshop?
Well, first off, I want to say how much I love the fact, Knock, you're about to experience this. So Knock is our fractional CFO and someone whom we love dearly in our community. We trust her very deeply with it. What I can say to you, Knock, and anyone who hasn't been through yet, or even graduates hearing this, that the favorite part for me was the paying attention to the rules of the game. How so many times we do not conduct due diligence, and it could be a story we make up of, oh, it's so complicated, I trust that person, or they came in through this person, or this person I trust really believes in this, therefore I should do it. The many ways in which we expose ourselves and let the elements in that can take us out, that can do harm to us. So really, really understanding the rules of the game.
You know, that is a very, very good point there, because a lot of us, we just automatically assume, or we think everybody knows the rules of the game, but the rules might be different for different people, different organizations, and you might not even be aware. So it's like when you say you have friends come over to your house, or maybe extended family, and they're staying with you, and you say, make yourself at home. And you're thinking, make yourself at home according to my rules. But if you don't tell them what the rules are, they're going to do how they treat themselves in their own home. So they might be eating in different rooms or putting their feet up on a sofa or, various different things, which you might not treat your home like that. So
I love this
knowing the
example so
rules of the
much. I just
game
want to
is
say,
so important.
I've lived this very thing where someone said, make yourself a home. So I do just that. And then they get frustrated or upset with me.
Mhm.
And I know very much the pain of not being set up properly around that.
Yes,
And they take zero responsibility. Like, it should have been so obvious what make yourself at home means. How could anyone not know that? So I wish
exactly.
those people
Exactly.
put money in you. And I love this example so much, is how we can set up others to win.
Exactly, exactly. And one of the principles that I think about, and having been through Money and You, the Accelerated Business School, is as we incorporate the different principles into our own practice, media included, how has your business shifted and changed since that by implementing some of the things you've learned?
Oh,
Oh.
gosh. So since taking Money in You, the principles we've learned, definitely the rules of the game, and having, the business can only be as successful to the degree to which it's a tight ship, right? That you're running, how many holes are leaking, right? Of those, the bigger the hole, the bigger the problem, right? So the rules of the game and tightening up what the expectations are. Knock, I love getting to work with you because of the budgeting. That's part of the rules of the game. If we're out to win the money game and have a certain amount of profit every year, then budgeting, however boring and uncool it might be to do, is just part of the rules of the game. And what's cool as entrepreneurs is that we get to define the rules. Some of those are accepted standards and practices like budgeting. However, the game we fundamentally get to create. And when we get that, that's the excitement of it. At the same time, there's rules that we must create then to go along with it and follow. There's a maturity and evolution that happens as an entrepreneur. I think oftentimes the rebel spirit is what gets us into entrepreneurship. But if we don't evolve to being a rule creator and a rule follower, then it'll undermine us. So definitely there's been a maturity that's happened for us as entrepreneurs since Money and You.
Mm-hmm. And Knock, I know that you're enrolled. However, I'm going to put you a little bit here in the hot seat. And since that's one of John's favorite things is the rule of the game, how well has he shared with you rules of the game?
The rules of running his business.
Has he communicated that?
Yes, he has. And, as an auditor background in my profession, it's all about due diligence and the rules of the game. Like, how does the number doesn't make sense? It doesn't make sense. I don't care what you say, the number just doesn't make sense. So for us is being able to understand the rules of accounting, right? The rules of money. And then making sure that you're following those rules with a little, here and there adjustments that you can make when you're thinking of strategies, because that's what strategy is about. How do you strategize based on the money you have, and then what steps? How do you reallocate those money? Okay, what's the right decisions right now? Should you be making that decision to spend the money you don't have, or do you save that money and do something else and make it more useful? Right, that's a rule of the game of money. How do you re-strategize with the same amount of money that you have?
Yes, absolutely there. And I know even in the media world, when you're building out your systems and your teams, it is so very important to communicate how everything operates so everyone can work together as a really good, tight unit with precision. And bridging this over to media and even sharing on our platforms with the Los Angeles Tribune, our articles, we have, podcasting, book publishing, we have movies, we have many, many different divisions, and they might all operate a little bit differently with some of the different rules. But together, we always come together to operate from the same premise with it all. So I'm curious, do you guys have a mission and a vision statement to help keep to what those rules of the game are? Or is it slightly different?
John, you go ahead.
Oh gosh, it's funny like how this maybe is one of those rules that like I'm supposed to have. I can feel my inner critic coming up. Like, why don't I have a great answer for Donna right now? We're committed. I mean, the mission and why we're doing this is to serve transformational community leaders with creating generational wealth legacy. We see it that 10,000 transformational community leaders to be bringing through and the ripple effect that would cause across the planet, and to be raising, we talked about $100 million in net worth that they would be increased as a result of coming through here. So the problem that we look at is that transformational community leaders, they know how to host retreats, they know how to put on events, they know how to make money, but they don't know much of anything about generational wealth, how to create legacy assets. So we walk that path along with our partners who come in as faculty of having legacy assets. We have our 4-acre property. It's one of several that we have. And we want others to be able to experience this as well. So that's what we have in terms of a why or a mission statement. It definitely informs the outreach and the niche, I would say, that we have focused on. I think without having that clarity, for a while, we were attracting anybody who was interested in maybe leading a community or hosting a retreat one day. And it was really slowing us down for this higher purpose. So getting clear on the higher purpose and being really unapologetic about it, and then that vibration, attracting the right people.
Yes, that is absolutely a key. And I think it's really talked about having the right person in the right seat on the bus, which is, in a book From Good to Great with Jim Collins. And that was one of a key principle for even myself, because you might not have the right team person in alignment with your mission and your vision or your greater purpose, your higher purpose. To share.
When you're looking to go more upmarket, imagine that some of the entrepreneurs here, because it's an extremely common experience, is that you get sick and tired of serving one type of client who can only pay up to a certain amount. So then making a decision to go upmarket, there can be some voice, especially if you have a real servant heart and you really love people and they could really use your support, that there might be some self-judgment. There might be judgment from others. You're greedy, you're thinking of yourself or something like that. But what about all these other opportunities, right, that you could be happening? And all those, as I see it, I love that Sharon Lechter is here, by the way, because Outwitting the Devil is in my top 3. I just reread it recently. So it's so beautiful that she's here. But this would be described as the devil's work, as I see it. It's causing us to drift. It's distraction. These voices saying, oh, I got to take care of these people, offer something low end to take care of them, that could very much undermine the higher purpose.
Yes. And what would you like to add to this part of the conversation?
So for me, growing up poor, I really realized there's so many people that I can help based on my own experience of growing up poor and building a company. And seeing that the biggest struggle with people in startup is that we don't know how to manage our money, right? The money we're given, the cash flow is so important. So if we understand how to manage cash flow and have the system in place to support that, so that when we're growing our company, we don't run out of money. For me, I'm passionate about just helping companies don't run out of money and being the solution provider for them. It's like, hey, tell me what you need and I'll go find the solution for you. You need cash, I'll connect the dots for you. You need somebody, I'll connect the dots. So for me, my vision is to help more companies be successful and don't run out of money. And then in return, those companies are the one that's helping their employees be successful. They're providing jobs for their employees. So it's a ripple effect of just by helping an entrepreneur who has this amazing idea, who wants to be successful and create an impact in the world. When I help that owner's helping more people. So that's the ripple effect. of what I do.
Yes. And how it all ties in here with media and leveraging media. If you don't have a media company working with you, for you, we are here as your boutique media company. Because each and every one of those things, it's great to have your mission and your vision and to put that all out there. But with media, you can get the exposure, and then you can become what we consider omnipresent, because then people are like, oh, I've heard of you, or I've seen you somewhere, or they look you up, and you have a really nice media portfolio because you've had really good positive impacts, articles written or shared, or maybe videos, or maybe you joined one of our different projects with some of the different things. And it's really about getting that exposure, attracting back to you the people that need to come into your ecosystem to the message that you are creating. Because at the Los Angeles Tribune, we're all about uplifting, inspiring, and educating everyone, as well as changing that status quo and going more into a conscious media, knowing that we are responsible for the media that we consume. And so there's a lot of synergy that can happen when you leverage a media company for your own business to actually get to the right niche of people with that. So as we are wrapping up here, we only have a few more minutes coming up here. John, what would you like to share with the audience?
Well, you're making a smart move by being here today and soaking in all this wisdom. So pat yourself on the back for that. And, the term conscious, I love that came up. We define that as looking at your own self first. Like, where is the ego coming up? Where is the programming still got its grips on you? So that to me is what always comes back to, is doing your own consciousness, raising work. So the ego, where the stories we make up about others, about ourselves, the fear, the anxiety, that all starts at the level of the mind, typically. Mm-hmm. So to liberate ourselves from that so that we can see the pathway forward. Otherwise, it's going through life with hazy goggles on. Mm-hmm. And in terms of that impact, to your point, Donna, as you are with media so beautifully and importantly, especially now, who are we with our businesses and the positive impact it has on others? Something that has led me to move away from the transformational seminar industry and towards this retreat space and bringing in a very curated group is what I would consider to be the very extractive nature of the seminar industry at times. Nothing like Money and You, of course, to be clear, but there are other seminars where it's strictly seen as a vehicle to put butts in seats, is the phrase, and to extract as many dollars as possible from there. And there is a sickness of mind, I think, with that, frankly, that if doctors did that, where they're just trying to get as much money out of people, and maybe they get cured, maybe they don't, like those doctors will hopefully be held accountable. And too often times these seminar leaders are not held accountable. So there's a lack of consciousness there, despite how they might present themselves. So as we go forward, to be conscious in whatever you do, whether it's leading seminars, being a CPA in media, whatever it is, to be so obsessed with what is the true positive impact we have on others, that would be my invitation. And we'd love to connect with anyone who resonates with being a community builder, spreading consciousness in the world. AbundanceRetreat.club. You can also find me on Facebook or LinkedIn.
Nice.
Oh, I want to say something.
Yes, please do.
Of course you may, Godmother.
Hi, how are you all? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us. I so appreciate it. And I just wanted to say that, Knock, I hope that you get to see Dr. Emily Tran, who's going to be on in about an hour. She's going to be on all the way from Asia. She's actually back where she was in a refugee camp when she was very young. And she, along with James Dentley, they will be coming to the July program. And but they are so excited to be coming up. And I just wanted to really thank all of you. Knock, I know that you are involved in many humanitarian philanthropy work. And John, you and Muncie, I know that you're this young, up and coming. I call you young because you're 30 years younger than me, but I was going to say, and making a contribution in whatever way we can to people creating wealth, creating communities through the teachings of retreats. And I felt that it was important. I mean, I have hundreds of people that I can have in these events. And this is the fourth one. So the other three, they are already in YouTube, and we'll also have this in YouTube. And I really want to encourage everyone to go back and look at those, because this comes in fast and furious, all the things. We are in different areas that is very important for us to know. So I want to thank you for being here. And you know what? I wanted to make sure John Gray is here. He's in the background. And so what I wanted to do, I wanted to bring in John for a minute, but then I don't think that John has seen again. Is it okay if we do Mo? If we do Mo, if we do Mo's TEDx, if we can do that?
Yes.
So, okay. So let's go ahead.
Imagine waking up in the morning, grabbing your morning coffee, and opening up your daily newspaper to nothing but headlines that inspire and uplift you. Headlines like the Apollo 11 moon landing and how it inspired people in the 60s, or headlines like the Berlin Wall has collapsed, or even more recently, headlines like the miracle on the Hudson. What would that do to your day when you started off with just positive news? My name is Mo Rock. I'm the CEO of a national newspaper brand, and today, together, we are reimagining journalism. You see, studies reveal that there is a stark contrast between positive news and negative news. In fact, for every piece of news that is solutions-based, that can uplift and inspire you, there are at least 17 that don't. That's 17 to 1. So today, we are actually faced with an epidemic of negative news. We've all heard the phrase, if it bleeds, it leads. But why does this have to be the centerpiece of a lot of news production, journalism, and content creation of the world today? There are a lot of incredible journalists that are solutions orientated, and I give a lot of credit to them for doing a great job. And here's the truth that you may not realize, is that everyone in this room is impacting our news. You see, every single time you like a post, every single time you leave a comment on a news article, and every single time you share something, you're not just liking, commenting, and resharing. You're actually casting a vote. You're not only casting a vote for the kind of news you want to consume, but believe it or not, you're casting a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. You see, I believe that news has the power to not just inform you, but it has the power to mold you. Our world views are largely shaped based on the news and content that we consume. And so I want to encourage folks to remember that the next time that they like, comment, and share. Our organization has one question that it always has to ask before we share anything, print anything, or publish anything. Our editorial team asks this one very simple question. Does the following piece of news empower our audience, or does it disempower our audience? What would the world look like if every content creator, every journalist, every time someone posted a news article, they asked that question? Does the following piece of content empower our audience or disempower our audience? And I want to encourage everyone to participate in this process and help us bridge that gap between 17 negative news articles for every one positive. And let's come together and ultimately make this world a better place. Thank you.
Pleasure and privilege to be here. Thank you so much, Doria and Donna. You know, every time I see that TED Talk, and thank you for playing it, I think of my friend Bill Walsh, because when I was going to do that TED Talk, and I was so excited for the opportunity, and it was a pleasure to have that opportunity. I actually forgot when we were going to Utah, my blazer. I left it on my couch, and so I'm on my way to the TED Talk, and I don't have my outfit for it. But on the way to the TED Talk, I stopped by my friend Bill's house, and I said, Bill, I had this nice blazer I was going to wear for my TED Talk, and I got so caught up in preparing to leave the house, I left it at home. I got to go to Kohl's so I could quickly just go in and grab a blazer. And he said, you don't need to go to Kohl's. And he takes it like, you know, Bill is a little bit like a Bruce Wayne. He takes me to this part of his house, and he pushes a button, and the secret compartment opens up, and it's his closet. The most beautiful walk-in closet. And that's actually Bill Walsh's blazer that I'm wearing in my TED Talk. It's a true and funny story. But enough about that. It's a pleasure to be here, Doria. Thank you for putting this together. Congratulations on such a successful event with some of the most incredible thought leaders, and it's a joy to be here.
Well, great to have you, Mo. And we are inviting you on the same segment with our beautiful John Gray. Let's bring up John Gray. John Gray is always like a highlight. He's going to, sooner or later, he's going to get to how we become even better lovers. But today we are talking about absolutely money and leadership. Welcome, John. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful. I'm happy. And I'm inspired by what Mo said to come up with an opening line for what I'll be talking about, which is every day, more and more women are feeling the need and increasing their motivation to come back to happiness and joy and what I call their female side. And in the context of abundance in our life, it is that female side that exists in both men and women that creates receptivity, and receptivity creates magnetism and abundance. That's how we attract more opportunities for us to then use our male side to utilize those opportunities to achieve our goals.
Wow. All right. Well, Mo, is there a question that you would like to ask?
Well, it's a pleasure and privilege to see the legend John Gray, record-setting #1 New York Times bestselling author. You know, there's a few people that have records that you just can't beat. I don't think Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points in a game is ever going to get beat. I don't think Elvis Presley record on the Billboard charts is ever going to get beat. And what John Gray did with his book on the New York Times bestseller list is absolutely untouchable. So it's a pleasure to have you, my friend John, and to see you again. And, you know, I'm just curious when it comes to leadership, because, you know, most people know you as the relationship guru, but you have such a wide range of books, including books about other topics. When it comes to leadership, I know it's a kind of a loaded question, but how do you summarize what it means to be a leader, especially in today's world?
Well, I think in Mars Venus terms, it means to be balanced with your masculine and feminine energy, to be an embodiment of what you want other people to be and be inspiring them by being one notch up, always putting yourself ahead of others, saying, how do I want others to be? I need to be that first. And I think that's what real leadership is taking responsibility to be the example for others. And to be a leader, one of our practical skills is, in Mars Venus terms, a balance of masculine energy and feminine energy, the ability to lead and take risks, but also to be considerate and careful of other people's needs along the way. Create in your team, the people that you lead, fans. Have them want to be like you, and to be like you, to motivate people to be like you, to be an example of the values that you have in your life. And those values, from my point of view, is to be both masculine, which is decisive, which is goal-oriented, which is directed, which is, in practical terms, an example of a man or a woman who doesn't complain, but has an optimistic viewpoint, but also then engages in hearing the feedback and hearing what other people have to say and be supportive of that. And that's more of our female side, the compassionate, the empathetic, the caring side of us. And to embody both those qualities will be not only great leadership, but also create success in your life.
Thank you so much. Hey, Donna, is there any question you would like to ask? I'm enjoying the conversation. Do you know, have you met Donna before, John?
I think so. Have we met, Donna? I think
Possibly, if we've had you on our live platforms here.
I
Very,
have
very
been on the-
possible.
that's how I met. That's how I met.
So I know, you're very, very famous for the book Women Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars. I know I said that backwards. But you are such an icon in the relationship world. And here we are talking about money, but also we have a relationship with money. So my question for you is, how do you see people forming relationships with money? And is there a correct way? Because we talk about masculine, we talk about feminine, but how does that relate to money?
Well, desire is an aspect of masculinity. It's the desire for more. I want more. And the other aspect of femininity is appreciation for what you have. And so what I see in my relationship with money is I love money. I love having more money. I have my goal, of course, is a selflessness, which is to be compassionate for others, to help others. If I could say one aspect of the masculine side of both men and women, it would be the desire to help. And with that desire to help, I then need money. And so I attract money so I can help more, and I get to enjoy that money as well. So that's a positive relationship with money. And a lot of people don't have that. They feel guilty for wanting money. But if I want money just for me, maybe I would feel guilty because I'm being quite selfish. A lot of people are very selfish and they have a lot of money and they're not happy. But when you want to help others and your motivation in life is to help others and care for others and love others, what happens is then, how can I do that best in our world today? A world where money is very, very important. So we attract money. I want more money. I appreciate more money. I'm grateful for more money, and I'm grateful for the money I have. That's a very key aspect of being in present time, is to be grateful for every check I get. I look at my bank account every day. It's so easy to do on my little phone. And I see money going out to people who've done things for me. And I say, thank you. And I see money coming in and I say, and thank you more. So I can do more and help more. That's a relationship with money, just as I have a relationship with my wife.
Beautifully, beautifully said. And I'm going to say the one thing that I learned there is gratitude is a feminine principle.
Ultimately, yes. And it's gratitude that attracts. Women are beautiful. Beauty is attractive. It's that force of attraction, which creates a passion, which creates a motivation, which is why I love my wife. One of the things, she's a beautiful woman. She's feminine. She's appreciative. She's grateful. That brings out the best in me. That motivates me to want to do more. One of the big issues for men today is a lack of motivation, feeling a lack of opportunity. It's the female side of us that recognizes opportunity, because when you're grateful for what you have, the brain looks for, what else do I have? If you're feeling like I don't have, the brain looks at, what do I not have? So gratitude is the beginning point always. And again, the beginning point of life is a woman. The woman gives birth to life. The feminine energy is the gratitude energy. So focusing on what I do have puts my brain in the motivation of looking at what else I have. And this is also very biological. In my work today, DC, I do everything. I've come out with a new book putting the actual biological research behind all of the Mars Venus ideas. It's an exciting thing for me, because often people say, oh, this is just a theory. It's my experience, certainly of teaching over 50 years, but it's the research backs up many of these ideas and even expands them more. So there's one aspect of when we're feeling not grateful, we're looking at what we don't have. We don't have support. We don't feel safe. And that produces stress hormones. And when those stress hormones are being produced, actually blood flows to the right prefrontal cortex, which becomes pessimistic. You can't create more success having more if you feel like more is not possible. So when you learn to lower your stress, then your blood flow goes more to the left prefrontal cortex, which allows you to be optimistic. And again, optimistic is that expansion of gratitude in the moment, which helps us to lower our stress by focusing on what we do have rather than what we don't have. And then what we do have will expand. And that always is the case. And yet this is very idealistic for me to say, because many times we're stressed because there's too much on our plate. We don't know what to do. There's danger, there's lack of support. So my whole message as well is be present with what you feel, identify what you feel in order to let it go. You can't let go of negative emotions unless you first identify that I'm holding on to negative emotions. And then your brain goes, what am I holding on to negativity for? That's just causing more stress. So one of the things I've done, DC, I don't know if you know, but on iPhone, I actually have a little app. It's called the Mars Venus Heart Space app that helps you identify what subconscious negative feelings may be holding you back from success, and then learning to identify them and then letting them go by finding the opposite, complementary, positive feelings. Because that's the way our brain works. You know, even we have this left-right prefrontal cortex. The left prefrontal cortex sees what's good, the right sees what's bad. And when you're under stress, you tend to ignore what's good and you see what's bad. But when you just take time to look and identify what's bad, you're connecting the prefrontal cortex to the limbic system of the brain, which is where those negative emotions lie. And what you're doing by identifying them is increasing blood flow back into the prefrontal cortex to look at what to be optimistic. And optimism opens our heart. Optimism allows us to feel love. And of course, that is the highest value. When we love ourselves, other people are attracted to us. We can love others. That's giving up our perfectionism, which is always focusing on what we don't have. When you learn to forgive yourself for things, this is like the biology of why, you know, when you love yourself, other people will love you more and you can love other people more. If I don't demand perfection of myself, then I don't demand perfection of you. And if I don't demand perfection of you, then I don't demand perfection of life. And now I get to appreciate what's there. And this is all by learning how to process emotions. So in my work, I love to focus on the gender in terms of male, female, helping us understand each other better. But that's always inside of every person has a male and a female side. And as we find that balance within ourselves, then we can come back to that place of stress-free abundance, which to attract more success and better finance in our life.
Wow. Mo, what say you?
Well, look, every time I listen to John Gray, I learned something. I've actually had the opportunity to participate in an in-person meditation that John led a few years ago at the Los Angeles Tribune Think and Grow Rich event that we did in Hollywood Hills. And it was a wonderful experience. If you haven't, you know, I don't know how often John does those these days in terms of the opportunity. I encourage people to have an opportunity to meet John in person because it's a transformational experience. And check out that app. How can people find that app again, John?
Well, you just go to, it's not yet on the other phones, but it is on iPhone. It's taking a while to get onto the Google phone, but it's called Mars Venus Heart Space app. And it's delightful. It's like literally having a counseling session with me. What I 50 years of doing this in the business, a person comes into my room and my office for counseling, and they'll talk about their problems. And what I know is that if we just look at solving problems, it doesn't change the consciousness that created those problems. So first I need to hear and understand what's basically going on in their life. And then I lead them through a process, which the app does, of helping them understand what the negative emotions are associated with those problems. Because when you link into the negative emotions, it's not like we're trying to be negative. It's already there. We just want to become present with what's inside of us, because it's what's underneath the surface that holds us back, creating anxiety, creating depression, creating lack of motivation, created judgmental thoughts. These are like automatic things that happen in our brain, and we go, why? What turns out the why is that we push down our negative feelings because we want to be positive. You know, we all want to be positive. We're just talking about how important gratitude is and optimism and positivity is, but we're not perfect beings. It's like we're walking on a tightrope of gratitude and love, and the wind blows and we tip this way or we tip that way. We might feel frustrated. We might feel disappointed. We might be concerned, worried, scared. We might feel bad. These are emotions that we're being positive will push them down. So every day, you know, taking a few minutes, or not every day, every few days, taking a few minutes to reflect on, okay, if I'm looking at my life, what's working, what's not working, what might be the negative emotions inside? And that's what the app does. It helps you to understand what's hidden from our consciousness. And as Jung said, you know, the whole personal growth, development, and everything has to do with transformation, has to do with making the unconscious conscious. And the more we can bring light to the darkness, the more light can come through us in our lives.
How
Well,
is that?
I'm not going to pretend I understood all of that. I don't have that level of intelligence, but I'll revisit it and then I'll share my feedback.
Then I didn't do it good enough. Okay,
You did a great job.
When you come to the truth, you come to simplicity. I could try it again, but I think there's probably other questions. But thanks for acknowledging.
You know that Mo is only in his mid-30s, okay? So, you know, I remember when I was 35 years old, right? You're still a puppy dog. I'm way ahead of you. So by the time you're my age, you'll really get this.
Well, there's a lot of life experience that helps for sure. You know, we all learn our lessons, both DC and I. We've had our ups and downs, and everybody has their ups and downs. And as we learn from our downs to come back up, to pick ourselves up. And, you know, you said, you know, with Men Are From Mars, it's hard to compete with that book because it's been over 35 years and it keeps selling. I can't compete with that book, you know. So that guy, John Gray, wrote this great book. I have other books. They don't do as well as that book. So that's something I have to deal with, is not being better than my old books. But I think of it like my children, you know, I love them all. They're all great. And some achieve certain levels of success. Others don't. They're all lovable. And on that note, I want to give you a glimpse of my new child. This is called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, for women only. And the theme of it, and this one is be happy with or without a man. You know, there's so many women that are realizing that I want more in my life. You know, I've really achieved a lot. I've been successful, but I don't have love in my life. And there's the words for that these days. I want to come back to my female side, because the female side is what allows you to attract a relationship for you that will work for you. And, you know, I've written all these books that men and women read them. But often women will say, well, if my husband or boyfriend doesn't read this, what chance do I have? Because women typically read more of these relationship books. And I've had women for 40 years come into my office without a partner or without their husband, giving them support, and they make their relationships better regardless if their partner reads the books. So this is a book which allows women to attract the right man in their life, and if they have the right man in their life, to bring out the best in that man without him having to read the book. And any wise man listening would read this book before she reads it, so you can help her be successful. Now here's the concept, a little tricky, I'll slow it down. Help her be successful in bringing out the best in him so that she can love him more. Okay, it's a little bit double thinking there. But what I've seen is that when women make certain awarenesses and changes within themselves, it will always bring out better in a man. And what we can do as men is help women to bring out the better in us so that we can give them more. Because when we give women more, women will grow in their ability to love us. And when women grow in their ability to love us, creating the opportunity to us to be successful in making her feel loved, we become better. So it's a whole dynamic of interdependence to make love, to grow in love. And one example of that and I know we want to talk about money, so I'm remembering I'm talking to DC. We're talking about abundance. But we do know that the more you love yourself, that you can receive more. Often when people receive more, they start to feel guilty and they lose their money. There's a limit to how much they can receive. So it's important to become aware that we want to continue to expand our ability to receive, and that we deserve to receive, and that increasing entitlement to receive more than others. You see all the suffering that goes on, and I look at my home. I live in a castle. I live with a view of the mountain. I'm view of the ocean. I have a private drive. I have all these things. How can I not feel guilty? And I feel like, I think it was Reverend Ike who said, my wealth inspires others to be wealthy. But I would feel guilty if I wasn't working and all the time using what I have in my life, the abundance of my life, to help others. Use what I have to help others, but not lose what I have to help others. And so this gives me the freedom to have unconditional love. And that's the best kind of love. And how that develops, how it's developed in me, is in the process of making love. You make money, you also make love. You make love by growing in love in a relationship. And I'll just take a moment, but research now shows us that we have these things called mirror neurons to allow us to feel what other people feel. Now, what motivates me in my life is that my mirror neurons are open and I can feel what other people feel. And that then allows me to feel compassion. That compassion is what motivates me to take action. And this is a very masculine quality, compassion. Empathy is a very feminine quality. Women's mirror neurons are open all the time. They can feel what other people feel. Men's mirror neurons only open up where he can really feel love, is he can feel what other people feel when a man is approached without blame and he's needed. When a man feels needed and he's not being blamed, like a father with a child. Children, little children make men so loving because they have no blame. They just look at you like you're God. So when a child needs your help and you're not being blamed, then your mirror neurons open up and you begin to experience this phenomena, which is different in a man's brain than a woman's, which is 50% limbic system, 50% prefrontal cortex, and the action center. And so he doesn't just feel love for someone, he feels devoted for someone. He feels motivated to sacrifice for someone without feeling any resentment for it. This is the highest level. And in Tibetan Buddhism, they always talk about, what is the highest level of masculinity? They say it's compassion. And you would think, well, that's female. Of course, women, all this love and empathy. But for women, it's not devotion in this sense to your children. It can be, but it's empathy. Women will feel empathy and then take action. Men will feel compassion and be optimistic and devote themselves. So this is sort of the biology of the old saying, when you make a man the hero, he will die for you. This is like for women to understand the art of being vulnerable, where you need a man's help without blaming him. He will then become more devoted to you, and it activates his compassion and his motivation. And this is why it's so important for men. If you want to grow in abundance, you have to feel compassion to motivate you to help others, which is why I started out talking about helping others is so important. But the flip side of that, particularly for women to have abundance in their life, is primarily to first learn how to feel gratitude, to receive so that you fill up. Then in helping others, you don't burn out, because that's the problem for women. The nurturing instinct inside of them is to give to whoever needs them, but they have to learn how to receive first before they give out. And then their giving out can be unconditional love. And that's when you're free. That's when the world responds to you with greater abundance, because you're not always thinking me, 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 me. I'm thinking you and me.
Wow. Wow. And you see why we gave him all this time?
I'm sorry. I do take too much time sometimes.
Oh, I love you so much. You are we almost beat your record, but I want to invite everybody to go to Fridays with Doria. You sign up for any program. And John has been with us 2 or 3 times. And there's one that we did about 4 years ago. It was during COVID, so we had all the time in the world. and John was on for about 3.5 hours, and and he was going to just keep talking. We didn't have anything else to do during COVID, but the one part that I keep sending people to is the last 45 minutes of that particular one. It's the first one that you're on. And I like him to listen to that because he goes into this whole conversation about why so many gurus get in trouble for touching their devotees, right? and he does the whole explanation, and it's just I love your work. I love your work, and I want to recommend to everyone to go to your webpage, because like in Fridays with Doria, he has hours to talk with us. And I love his conversation about why men have bellies. You know, they have bellies, which is hormonal. It's not about the beer gut or the food. I mean, I know men that go, I don't drink beer, look at my belly. And I said, go to John's, webpage, and he will have the solution. And now this whole thing, and I've heard him really teach about this book, because I love interviewing him. And put your book up again, John, because I really want for men and women to read this book, because one of the things that I learned, I've been doing this my whole life, and I'm going to say something really private here, so I know this is out in the airwaves, but one thing that women really need to do is to make a man really feel desirable. And it's so chasing around, you got to chase around your sweetie around the house, so that they feel really, really loved. And you have to, and all the other nurturing things. But whenever, I see anybody that having trouble around this, I send them to read John's books. I really love you, John. And, a lot of my graduates in the Asia Pacific are coaches for you. They learn from you. They study with you, because, and somebody once said, that information is way too old. He wrote that book 35 years ago. And I say to them, not much has changed. This book, I mean, it's been thousands and thousands of years that people have behaved in a certain way. And so 34 years, 35 years is the original book is still so good.
The original book is still so great. And when people say, well, John, this is for women only, what book should men read? Read Men Are From Mars. Okay. That's a good one for men, but men can also read this, of course. But while we haven't changed, our biology hasn't changed that much. What's changed is our challenges in the world, because as women become more independent, they're starting to make more male hormones during the day and not as many female hormones during the day, so they can become imbalanced. And then when men are in relationship with women who are more on their masculine side, men will tend to go more to their female side, and their estrogen levels, the female hormone, will become too high. And that when you talk about bellies, put this in the context of why I talk about bellies, because I don't judge people who have bellies. But what I know as a man, the most important thing for our well-being, our health, our motivation, our ability to feel love and attraction for our partners is all the level of his testosterone levels are associated with that. And for most men, their testosterone levels will start to go down. It's even, in our general knowledge, it says men's testosterone are supposed to go down. They'll naturally go down. They go down in our culture, not in other cultures, ancient cultures. And I'm an example of that. And I know other men who are in my age group. I'm 74 years old. My testosterone levels are 50% higher than when I was a young man. So mine have only gone up. And this is a possibility for men. And one of the things that keeps your testosterone from going up and continuing to rise is belly fat. Because if you drink beer actually produces more estrogen. Estrogen puts fat in your belly. Fat in your belly produces more estrogen. And estrogen, the female hormone, lowers testosterone in men. So when a man retires, for example, what will happen is he doesn't have work to do. If he's not working and helping others, overcoming challenges, that's a major testosterone producer. If he's not doing that, he's not making testosterone, he will retire, which means I'm just going to do what I like to do. Now, that sounds like a great idea. Let me just do what I like to do. Whenever you do what you like to do, enjoy doing, estrogen gets produced. So if you're doing what you like to do all the time for you and yourself, your estrogen levels rise, your testosterone goes down, And naturally, your estrogen going higher will put fat on your belly. So what we have to do is understand all the dynamics of masculinity. So these are new challenges that we have today in the world of men becoming more feminized, women becoming more masculine. And so there's this book, which is for women only. And then there's also a book for both men and women called Beyond Mars and Venus, which is not that we've changed that much as men and women, but our challenges in the world become different to maintain a balance of both your masculine and feminine sides.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, I tell you what, do you want to say hello to Sharon Lecter? She's coming next. Mo would be over the moon if you stay for just a few minutes. Do you have a few minutes?
Me? Yes, of course. Always for
Oh.
you, DC.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. I just, I don't want you to go anywhere. I always want to hang out with you. So, one of the things, Sharon should be coming in any minute, but I just wanted to tell you that I had the most fantastic time when we first started the Transformational Leadership Council, TLC, and I think it was the year 2004. And we were at his beautiful home up in Northern California. And for some reason, we were the last two people. I was the last person that left. Everybody else left. And John is such a fanatic of everything. And I had this thing called an Akiscope.
I remember it. I'm like right there with you.
Yeah. And so I said to John, because I carried it with me everywhere. And I said, John, have you heard of an Akiscope? Of course he had. And then I said, would you like to use it? And so I brought it in for him to use. Oh, Sharon is coming. And and so he had to sit there, and I'm like, okay, where it is John Gray, and I got him in this corner. There's no way that I'm not going to ask him any question that I ever wanted to ask him. So I think we spent probably hours talking, and I have to say, short, it was a platonic, beautiful date. Your wife was out somewhere, but it was the best afternoon with a man talking about sex than I ever had in my whole life. and he was like, I asked him every question. And the one thing that I realized, and I want us all to realize, is that so much of it has to do with the chemical aspects of what's happening with our bodies. That's it. Go ahead.
My knowledge today has expanded so much on the whole chemical side of all of this. As I was mentioning those mirror neurons, the time when a man's mirror neurons, this means his ability to feel what you feel and to feel his own feelings. And only the time it opens the most is when he's in bed having sex with a woman he loves, who loves him. It's been proven. As a woman's vulnerability, that's when she's most vulnerable. What that does, that opens his mirror neurons at a time where she's feeling love for him. So her love can go more deeply into him. And as her love goes more deeply in, that's when a man can receive love the most. And then he, as a reaction, he loves her more while her mirror neurons are totally open. So then she experiences more love while his mirror neurons are open, which then allows him to receive even more love. So I have now understood with the mirror neuron knowledge that we have from science, that's the art of making love. That's where you're mirroring her love, and it mirrors back, and it mirrors back, and it grows to higher and higher levels.
Wow. So let's bring Sharon. Sharon, do you want to hang out with John Gray for just a couple of minutes?
Always. Absolutely. Hello, John.
Oh,
Hello.
hi, Sharon. Always happy to see you.
Yes, absolutely. It's always a treat.
Again, this is completely designed by the divine, that it just so happened that it was one after the other. And then if I may please bring my partner that first took us to Chennai, to India. And so I want to bring Dr. Aziza. And she's going to be, Mo, don't go away. I wanted a picture with you too. So let's bring up Dr. Aziza. And the reason, I want to take a little picture first. Where's Dr. Aziza? There she is. This is the most beautiful woman. I've known her for about 21, 22 years. And she's more committed to conscious entrepreneurship than anyone I know. And just absolutely is so committed to taking our work in the languages in of course, she already did in Tamil, Hindi, Arabic. She's opening up that whole world. And I just want to take a beautiful picture of all of us. And anything you would like to say, Sharon, John, before you go away, John? Anything? I wanted you, the two of you, to have an opportunity to say hello.
Well, I'd like to say, first of all, hi, Sharon. Always good to see you. And, money mastery is always, as you receive more money and give more money, you get more money back. That's the same thing I was talking about, making love. It's making money, the same thing. And as I also look and see Dr. Aziza from, is it India where you're from?
She's from Singapore.
I'm in Singapore. Oh, Singapore. Well, I presume, according to your culture, that you still have an experience of God and that you believe in God. And this is one of the most powerful things for people to not only be happy, to be successful and happy. And it's one of the most dynamic things for women today. And I so much encourage people to find a spiritual path for them, because what's happened for women is they found an entrepreneur path. And to be an entrepreneur means that you're expressing your masculine side. And there's nothing, as far as I'm concerned, nothing more powerful than balancing your masculine side with receiving the grace of God. Knowing that you're doing God's work allows you to receive that support. You see, estrogen levels always go up. Women need to make 20 times more estrogen than men. This is like, and you produce estrogen when you feel you're not alone. And when you're out there as an entrepreneur, you're often alone. But when you have God by your side, that's what balances your hormones. That is the chemistry, the alchemy of success, is when you feel I'm doing it, but I'm doing it with God's help. And I'm remembering a time when I was with Oprah, and she said, I feel that I have to do everything myself, but God has sent me 10,000 angels to help me. And that is the blessing of knowing that I'm doing it, but I have help to do it. And this same dynamic creates a reduction of stress in our bodies because the hormones are balanced, and that allows us to access our creativity, our motivation, and our love. So thank you for being an example of you can be successful as a woman and not be so stressed, because you have a belief in God and God stands by your side. So very important. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Also appreciate it. So grateful to be amidst all you amazing human beings who are like really mentors and leaders of the world. It's so wonderful. And thanks so much, Dame Doria, that you have created such a empowered community committed to millions of people, I would say billions of people being impacted through this precessionary effect, as we say in Money and You. And I'm so grateful that we could share this space and really bring in the feminine and masculine energy conversation. I mean, like, this is really the next level that we would love the world to be in as well. Thank you so much, John. And thank you so much, Sharon. Definitely more. Thank you so much. And great meeting you, Donna.
It's a pleasure to have you on the platform, and I'm sure you'll be joining us in a few minutes. And what an honor to see you again. And I just wanted to come on here for a couple of minutes and just thank Sharon Lechter, who's one of my mentors. Her and I, we've had so many conversations over the years, and I've learned so much by speaking with her. And thank you for the opportunity, Sharon, to speak in front of your tribe and the trust. And that did my heart glad just a few weeks ago in Arizona. And I want to take a second to also just plug this movie poster that I have behind me. There's a wonderful film that Sharon Lechter is one of the stars of, along with Jack Canfield and Michael Beckwith and John Asraf and DeMartini and Jova, everyone but John Grace. So John, we got to fix that.
You
forgot me too. I'm in there.
Yeah, you're DC, you're in there. Yeah, well,
I'm in there.
You could do a bonus video to go along with it.
We're going to have to do a bonus video. And Donna, do you want to just let people know where they can learn more about the film?
Yes.
We have one of our stars of the film here with us.
Yes, absolutely. All you have to do is go to a website, thepillarsofpower.com, and you will see the cast. You can fill out a little form. I want to learn more. And we're going to have, there's some beautiful pictures on there. It's all coming together. Yes.
Thank you, Donna. And what's exciting is you're going to find this all over the world in different theaters. including if you're one of our members of our community in Japan. There's going to be a wonderful premiere in Japan with one of the co-stars, Ken Honda. There's going to be a wonderful premiere in Los Angeles. There's going to be a wonderful premiere in Northern California. So we're going to be announcing the dates of the world tour very soon. Some of them will be private showings. Some of them will be public showings. We're going to do one in Arizona, just so I'm making it convenient for one of our stars, Sharon Lecter. I don't want to ask her to travel. You know, she's so busy over there. And who wants to leave that beautiful ranch you're in, Sharon? You know, I'm not going to ask you to leave that beautiful ranch. So we're going to keep it close to you for a nice premiere in Arizona. And I'm excited. So I want folks to understand what you're experiencing right now here on the Los Angeles Tribune. First of all, I thought we were going to talk about leadership and personal responsibility, but Mr. John Gray took us in such a beautiful direction, which I was happy to go. It was a little bit of a surprise, but that's what this platform is all about. And as of this year, we're officially the first newspaper brand in history to be a Grammy-nominated newspaper brand. That's never happened before. And we got our Grammy nomination as a publishing company, not because I'm a great piano player, but because of the art of storytelling. Because we published a book that was in the best audiobook, storytelling, and in narration category. And to be a Grammy-nominated storytelling company is what it's all about. And our stories are about inspiration, about redemption, about making the world a better place. And you can experience that in our upcoming film series, The Pillars of Power. You can experience that with the books that we publish, with the audiobooks that we publish. Everything has to do with making the world a better place. And quite frankly, I think today, living in the climate that we're in, we need that. We need people that are from across different parts of the world to talk to each other. We need people that have different cultural backgrounds to have conversations with one another, to be open-minded. And the reason why is because we don't really have another choice, because we have one rock that we're all on, and we have to make the best of it. So even if in a very small way we can help bring some people from around the world together on this platform and share positive values like personal responsibility, values like self-reliance, values that the founding fathers of the United States were very big on, that I happen to embody in my life and business. And it's just an honor to be here again. And I wanted to just thank Sharon and thank John. And I'm going to step back and let the masters have some time together. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mo. And you have created an incredible platform that allows people to really create those conversations. And it's so good to see you, John. And I think, what you brought up was truly what I've been talking about in my latest book, True Wealth. And that true wealth is that relationship wealth, that sexual health, your spiritual health, as well as financial health. So many people pursue the financial wealth, and in the process, they lose their family, they lose their health, because they were singularly focused on the money. And so it's so important. And as platforms like this that help people understand how to really build a life of value, a life of contribution, a life of fulfillment. And that's so important to have those relationships that my husband and I are celebrating 46 years together. And I wouldn't be who I am without his partnership and his support. And so financial wealth can be hollow if you don't have the spiritual side and the relationship side as well. So thank you, John, for talking about that.
Well, we're going to let you go, John, because now we're going to, and you're welcome. You can go to Facebook and to the Los Angeles Tribune or Doria, and you will see it in Facebook if you want to hear. Of course, we can keep you in the background too. While Sharon is going to share her genius, and we're going to bring back Dr. Aziza. So thank you, John, for coming.
Well, thank you all. It's been a real pleasure. It's an honor. Always happy to see you, DC. And Sharon, thank you so much for your acknowledgement. Love you all. Have a great day. I'll be watching in the background.
Yay.
Thank you, John. Take care.
Aloha. Aloha. All right. Well, Dr. Aziza will bring her back up. And I'm so glad that you get to be with her, because she's opening up all these doors. And I was just looking on the chat that there was somebody from Dubai. It's really early. I think she or he has been there. Is that somebody that you invited, Aziza, or?
No, I think they are just.
Okay. But they're coming in, and it is absolutely so beautiful. And I think the word is also getting out through the Money and You book. And thank you, Sharon, for having written the foreword. And I have to tell you something really fun about the book. I can't believe this, but I was looking at the foreword, and look at this. Now, just remember, okay, so this is the foreword, right? And you wrote it, and you wrote it, and you just sent it to me, right? I mean, we tweaked it a little bit. We took out some misinformation that you corrected us, but it fits perfect in 2 pages.
Of course it does. It was meant to be. Yes, of
I'm like,
course.
because he has all the big letters, you know what I mean? And we put the first step to financial freedom is financial responsibility, which is a flip chart, of course, from Money and You. And it is the essence of your work. So why don't we just go to you, Sharon, and share with us, this is about money and leadership. So what would you like to share with this worldwide audience? This is going to be seen by many people around the world. What would you like to share with them?
Well, thank you, Doria. And I'm so delighted to be with all of you. And it's so wonderful to meet you, Dr. Aziza. And I look forward to the opportunity to get to know you better. And, we are talking about leadership and financial health, but they go hand in hand. Because if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. If you can't lead yourself, you can't become financially independent. Because we can control 3 things in our lives: our thoughts, our words, our actions. And so if our thoughts are messed up, if we're afraid of money, or we're afraid we're never going to have enough, those negative thoughts manifest in your words and in your actions. And so unfortunately, we're taught in school to chase a salary, to chase a paycheck. And so we get really ingrained in this thought of exchanging time for money. Well, then you become a slave to the clock. And you limit how much money you can earn because there's only so many hours in the day, only so many days in the week. And so I've revolutionized, and through Rich Dad Poor Dad and the Rich Dad brand, we really have changed people's thought process about not chasing income, but chasing buying, building, creating income producing assets, because you can have as many assets as possible. The more assets you have working for you, the more you get your time back instead of a drain on your time. And so you're financially free when the income from your assets exceeds your monthly expenses. That's true leadership, both in your life, in your contribution, because as you create assets, you're creating value that support other people. And you're providing opportunities for other people that need to have a job. And so that leadership is helping other people find their financial security. And it's so important to go back to you, leadership of yourself, leadership of financial responsibility, financial empowerment. And through taking control of your own financial life, you have the opportunity to provide opportunities for others to see what you're doing, to learn from you, and therefore for them to take care of their financial life. And this platform helps us do that, helps us share. What an incredible group of people you have curated. Congratulations, Doria, Donna, and Mo. I'm so proud of all of you, and I'm so honored with your friendship. And I'm so excited about the new movie. But all of us have the opportunity to take control of our financial lives, but it starts by controlling your thoughts, your words, your actions, a major tenet of Money and You.
Thank you so much, Sharon. And I wanted Aziza, Dr. Aziza, why don't you share with Sharon and with the audience? I mean, this is one of the greatest connectors, Sharon. I mean, you talk about, you and I are super connectors, and you have that whole teaching about proximity, right, Sharon? And yes. And so one of the things that Aziza, she has this superpower of introducing us to people that talk about leverage, talk about having an impact. And so, and she does it through, she's very knowledgeable. She's very good with numbers. And she has her own business model and in conscious entrepreneurship. So Aziza, have a conversation with Sharon and with the world about your work and how conscious entrepreneurship is so important to you for 20 years.
Yes, and it's been a journey. And just as I was so blessed to attend my Money and You in Chinese, because I'm Chinese educator, and that's how I chanced upon this beautiful community. I have to say, the beginning of my journey has been like, people talk about money, and Sharon, that's exactly, it's such a privilege to hear from you, to really say that, when we think about money and we forget about the world or the personal fulfillment, and the chase is always, this or that. And I've always felt, why would it be this or that? And why can't it be this and that? And that's where, when I went into Money and You, it was all about, where's my purpose? And I was a homemaker, a professional who went into homemakers space. And I was sitting down with my children in my room one of these days, and I was asking, what would I be doing with my life when they grow up? And that was, like Doria said, more than 20 years ago. And that's where I ended up in the Money and You room. And what I saw was, wow, this is like creating purpose, creating value add. In Arabic or in Islamic terms, we say ibadah. Ibadah simply means service to God. So if you take your business as a service to God, and that's exactly what we share in Money and You about value add to humanity. So that really resonated a lot with me. And that was a time in Singapore and Asia. This is like a not heard about stuff, right? So this is where it really inspired to me. Where is that community that we can say is ours? And I so love it that we come from so many walks of life, and we show up together, and suddenly all these boundaries are removed. So fast forward, I got connected to, like what Doria said, not only through the Money and You network, but the global network. We started becoming the magnet for influencers and change makers to, in this part of the world at least, to come in. But when we do business, it's not just business by itself, where we say it's market mechanism. Then where is the capital market people, where we can influence at a new level, and that itself is a whole new world. And I was so blessed to be able to connect with the capital people as well. So that kind of gelled in, consciousness and capital market coming together. And that's why we are moving towards nurturing SMEs businesses to really think about exponential growth. And we all deserve to be doing good, doing business, and adding value as a community, going beyond race, language, religion. And it is, thank God, through the background that I come from, with a Middle Eastern ancestry, my parents from India. So it kind of gave me, and a Singaporean. So that kind of really grew that dynamics. And it's always about, from the early mentorship that I was blessed to have with Victoria and the community, about trust, how we build trust from within and then taking it forward. So I also would love to have, you speak into this discipline part that you say, you said about money. I love to ask this question, when you say we have to have this financial clarity, and that's bonded by a personal discipline. And many of times people struggle with that discipline, especially women entrepreneurs. And when we talk about consciousness and in that, so I'd love to have you to just talk into that for us. And that would be a great leverage for everyone. By the way, happy International Women's Day month to everybody.
So did you understand that question, Sharon?
Well, I think so. I think it's really important to understand that the successful businesses do one of two things. They solve a problem or serve a need. So when you're solving problems and serving needs, you are doing a greater good. You're adding value to the world around you. And by adding value, you are rewarded, because you are providing opportunities for people to grow, for people to find information they need. And so you're financially rewarded. And that's really the part of the giving back. Sometimes you can make money by just the speed and doing it. That's new wealth, they call it. But true wealth is where you truly are adding value to the world and you're getting rewarded for it. And so the issue is the impact. A lot of people necessarily want to matter. We want to matter. I have a friend who says whenever you meet someone, they have a name tag that says, make me matter. And so the more you can add value to other people's lives, the more you're going to have a chain reaction and have them be able to do that as well. And that's what we need a lot more in the world right now because of the drama and the trauma. But financial reward comes from doing well and adding value to the world around us. but you do that through systems. I get into the foundational element of building a business that can stand and scale. You don't want just a successful business. You want one that's sustainable, scalable, and saleable. And by doing that, understanding when you create systems, that's what creates that business into an asset for you. Because if the business is dependent on you as an individual, then you're never going to get away from it. You're not going to get your time back. And so take that business, solving a problem or serving a need, keeping that in the forefront, and build the structure around it, but the systems, the right people in the right seats, so that you can have that foundation that can scale and take it all over the world. All right. We were able to take Rich Dad around the world because I scaled the model and had people around the world supporting us in doing that. I did that with the Talking Children's book as well. And so you have to create a scalable model that can operate without you at the wheel. Other people can do that. And that allows you to exponentially increase your impact around the world.
And I just wanted to add, because I'm taking notes here, that I love what Sharon said, especially about opportunity. I think that the greatest expression of love, for lack of a better term, or expression of positive energy, fill in the blank, is to give another person an opportunity. The only thing that I've ever asked in my life is to not have my opportunities blocked and just give me an opportunity. Sometimes they're small opportunities, sometimes they're big opportunities. A few weeks ago, Sharon gave me an opportunity to speak in front of her community. It wasn't pre-planned, it wasn't spoken about. For most people, it was just a man speaking for a couple minutes and sitting back down. But I understood, because you have to have depth of vision as a leader, right? I understood that was an opportunity that was given to me. And I appreciated that. And the rest is up to me. And in life, when someone gives you an opportunity, the rest is up to you. Because that's the greatest expression of love that a person can give to you, is an opportunity. Otherwise,
I want to jump in here, Mo, because you more than earned the right, because you create opportunities for so many other people. And when I invited you to come to my book launch, there wasn't a hesitation. Yes, I'm going to be there. And you brought your team, you brought your media wall with no expectation. And so half the time you just make sure you show up and you earn the right to be in the room because you were there. And of course, I'm going to ask you to speak because you blessed me by being there, bringing your team, participating in such a big way without any expectation. You had no ask. And I wanted to highlight how generous you were of your spirit and your time. And of course, I was going to acknowledge you because you deserved every bit of it. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, Sharon. And thank you to the wonderful team that helped as well. And thank you to everyone that has contributed to helping this platform. And I just wanted to point that out because I thought it was so important. And I want the leaders that are watching this to just ask themselves, what opportunities are you sharing? I think that's our fiduciary responsibility in leadership. Yeah, thank you, Sharon. God bless.
Well, thank you. And my team honored me with this little saying behind me, a legacy of creating legacies. The greatest gift to me is when I see people I'm mentoring elevate and succeed and helping other people. That's the greatest gift you can have, to empower other people to continue the work that you want to do.
Yeah. I think the magic word, Sharon, you said, and I was like, oh my God, that's the word. Opportunities can show up, but do we show up for the opportunities? And every time we put ourselves there, that's where the magic happens. So the leadership also, we overcome our own fear and doubt, and we show up. The magic word is to show up when opportunities are there. And there's so many reasons that can hold us back, but we still step up because of the vision that we hold, the impact that we want to create. And Mo has been showing up, and the whole team, they've been showing up again and again and in giving opportunities. And then there are people who take up the opportunities and show up. And then there are others who are still holding back. So it all depends on how much we put ourselves out there to make sure that we are more passionate about the impact that we want to create, and we show up. So thanks for highlighting that.
And I just want to also add to all the leaders, never stop giving opportunities. Giving opportunities as a leader will always put you in a vulnerable position.
right? You can't give an opportunity without inherently taking a risk. But I want to let the leaders know, no matter what you're going through as a leader, never stop giving opportunities. That's your fiduciary responsibility. And I just want to make sure that the people that are listening remember that. It's not our responsibility. It's how people receive an opportunity. We have no control over that. But our part is to continue to provide opportunities to the best of our ability. Sometimes you can do more, sometimes you can do less. However you can, though, express your leadership by providing opportunities.
Wow. So Sharon, I have all these people that I want you to meet, but before you go, I'm going to want you to tell us about Money and You, because I love, I get all emotional because, I'm still sitting right there where we didn't know you. We didn't meet you for probably,
It's been 29 years. 29 years ago, this month actually in Singapore is when we met. Was when I attended Money and You. 29
But
years.
we created you for Kiyosaki about 8 years prior to that, right on the spot, because I'm still in the same place I've lived in since 1986, a beautiful little condo on the beach in San Diego. I just get so moved by the fact that you accelerated all of our work. It's just like the thousands of people that have come up to me that have read the book and found out how we had, really launched Robert and supported him, and him and I. It was another kitchen. I had a remodel, and standing there and just making this list of the person that was going to take him to a whole other level. And we didn't know whether it was going to be a man or a woman. We didn't know what nationality they were, and we left it really open. Talk about attracting and creating. But we had this list. So when he called me up in Singapore, when, we were doing programs there and we were so successful, he said, I found her. And I go, who did you find? Oh, that we made it up. And then it was like, her name is Sharon. Can she come and do Money and You in Singapore? And he was like, and then not only that, but I think I added the heart part. I think, if I may say this, I just wanted always with heart. And oh gosh, it's just so moving to me. I'm looking at it around my little son, my little brother, Morak, what he's doing, right? Aziza, who's like my little Muslim girl, my little girl. You're going to meet Real here in a minute. And
now, Doria, I don't want to interrupt you. Thank you, my big sister Doria, but I do want to add someone to the stage. And
Emily,
she's one of my business partners, and she's also a student of Sharon Lecter's, Dr. Emily Letran. So I want to make sure that Dr. Emily has some time here as well. And Dr. Emily just experienced something that I need her to share, because what she did yesterday and the full circle moment that she had yesterday is something that our audience needs to hear. So I want to provide that opportunity because it's such an important. Let me
say, Sharon, how much time do you have?
I've got about another 10 minutes. So.
Okay, perfect. Because I do want to hear your experience. And then also, if you don't mind, at the same time, I love to bring Real Bergen Doyle, because she's our partner in Australia and New Zealand. And
Doria and I, we got our partners. We want to empower. I hope the people are taking notes.
Oh, good. This is how we do it. I just want her to be here because Realby and her husband support a lot of people in the Asia Pacific region, including people from Vietnam. So if somebody can bring her up for me. Thank you, Realby. And she'll just I'll introduce her a little later. Go ahead, Dr. Emily. Go ahead.
Oh, good morning from Thailand. Hi, Mom. I requested that I need to come on before you take off. Mom Sharon Lecter was one of my first mentors. I think I learned so much from her for 3 years, and the main thing was having the courage to step up and to show up. And thank you, Doria, for making me come on at 5:30 a.m. It took me a while to figure out this time thing. Yes, and thank you, Mo Rock, for being a great friend and business partner. So yesterday I had the opportunity to visit Pulau Bidam, which is the refugee camp that I was at in 1981. And sorry about this. It makes me feel the blessing, the gratitude, and everything I have received going through the journey. And just like any of the refugees who may have to leave their country due to war or whatever the reason is, and being able to come to a new country, have great mentors, and have great opportunity. And we had the opportunity to walk around the refugee camp and lit some incense for the people who didn't make it. It's been 44 years since I come back. And I think for all of us in America who have the opportunity to, go to a course, Money and You, and learn to make money and be able to create impact and give back, just everything that Mom Sharon taught me. And I just have the privilege to know a lot more people now than 2015, Mom, and enlist all of them to help support me and what I'm passionate about. So thank you, Mom.
I'm so proud of you. What an impact you've made. And from that very timid young woman who was hiding behind the bushes instead of standing on stage to an incredible bright light today impacting thousands. And I'm just so proud of you. And it's, we talk about solve a problem, serve a need. You are out there giving yourself 180% all the time, wanting to help people and support people. And again, that concept we just talked about, showing up. You always show up. You are always out there. Any opportunity you have to impact people's lives, you show up and you're there. And Doria, that's how you and I met. I showed up in Singapore because I didn't know if this guy I wanted to be a partner with. I wanted to know about what his background was and what his psyche was. And I said, the only way I can do that is to go to Money and You and understand it and meet Doria. So showing up, always show up and make a difference, make a contribution. And your impact is just beginning, Emily. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. And what an incredible day yesterday. You got me into tears. Just imagine that impact. Thank you.
Yes.
I love you, dear.
So Emily, you just have the whole world here. Just so you know, you know this because we've been talking, but we have a huge network. And of course, actually right here in the same spot, was Kiyosaki's and my dream to go to Vietnam and do the program. We did one in Singapore, translated to Vietnamese, and another one in Malaysia. And then we ended up going to actually to Vietnam. And then just to meet all these young, beautiful Vietnamese that are just like, they are transforming everything, even though it's still a communist country, you wouldn't know by the energy. They're a little bit like the Chinese. The capitalism in China before Xi Jinping was so incredible. And so you got beautiful Aziza that is opening up a huge world for us. And then you have Real B here that's been with us for 10 years. And anything you like to say, Real B?
Hi, everyone. Great to be here. Mo, thanks for hosting. Doria as well. Hey, Aziza. Nice to meet you, Sharon. I follow all of your stuff. I've been a fan forever. And Emily, that was such a moving story. I just, congratulations on what you're up to and achieving. So I'm just pleased to be here. I was lucky enough to do Money and You when I was just 22 years old. That was a long time ago now. And I saw Doria on the stage, and I was like, oh, I just want to be like her when I grow up. And then, you know, I went on and used the distinctions from Money and You to 6 months after I did Money and You, I started my first business with $1,100 to my name and turned it into $1 million business very, very quickly, pre the internet, and sold that successfully. And they've gone on and used everything I got out of Money and You many, many times to produce results and businesses and ventures, you know, from raising $1 million in 2 weeks to being the CEO of a $100 million company, to growing my own and other people's businesses for the last 34 years. So I've used it my whole life. And in 2015, we went on this crazy trip to Antarctica, and I got Doria on the ship, and then we ended up spending 2 weeks in Antarctica and Chile, and came home with the rights to Money and You for Australia and New Zealand. So that was a completely processional effect. It was not seemingly inadvertently, but realistically, processionally, that's what happened. That was not our intention on that trip, but and that was this is our 11th year now, leading Money and You in this region. So it's been an absolute gift and a joy, and I'm thrilled to be here with all of you. And Sharon, thank you for the impact on the legacy. You know, again, your processional effect is over here. So
thank you. Yes. And before Sharon goes, I'm adding Dr. Nick. Hi, Dr. Nick. He's our last guest speaker today, along with his team. But, you know, Sharon, everybody wants to meet you, you know, and it was like, and when we were choosing this beautiful graphic, which you can all use afterwards and let everybody know about this, we had to put Sharon and John there, and then put them in the middle, just so you know, Sharon. And Dr. Nick is, you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll let Sharon and Dr. Aziza go. And then we're going to go to Dr. Emily to teach us a little bit, because she has to leave in 15 minutes. So anything you would like to say, Nick, and to Sharon and to Aziza?
Yes, thank you so much, Doria. And talk about opportunity. You guys were talking with Mo Rock earlier. Such a fantastic opportunity to share a stage with all of you. Feeling so grateful for the opportunity. My name's Nick. I'm a doctor of physical therapy here in the United States. Small town kid in Kansas. Here we are. I've been practicing PT for 5 years now, and I'm branching more into the coaching space because I have noticed a frustrating block in how we treat people in the United States. It's very clinical, and I want to change that. And so I have a vision for how healthcare ought to be in the world. And I am using the distinctions from Money and You and all these wonderful connections to bring that to fruition. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Sharon, any parting words before you go?
Well, wonderful to meet you, Dr. Nick, and I applaud your efforts to educate the world, because we need that definitely here in the United States as it relates to health and how we treat people. So thank you for doing what you're doing. And Emily, I'm just so proud of you. So good to see you. I miss you. We got to find an excuse to get together very soon. Doria, thank you so much. I so love you. It's been 29 years of friendship that was beautiful in its birth and continues to grow, and together we can make even a greater impact. So wonderful to be with you. Dr. Aziza, wonderful to meet you. So proud of what you're doing. And if I can do anything to support you, please let me know. And so, of course, with your impact in Australia, I love Australia. That's where we did a huge Rich Dad tour there many, many years ago. And I love it there. We've been back several times for fun and for leadership opportunities. So thank you all. And Mo and your team, another unbelievable event. Thank you so much for putting that. But for all of you watching and listening, this opportunity is there for you too. Take what you learned from this related to leadership, related to money, and go out there and impact other people in a positive way. Absorb it, learn it, but then do it. Take the action. Mo, I've had a couple of people send me emails, Noria, about the book launch that we talked about, Mo. And it's my new book is Old Wealth, New Wealth, True Wealth.
Yes.
And it's really understanding that old wealth, the slow accumulation of money, new wealth, doing something fast and quick, right? And elements of both of those. But true wealth is understanding it's not just accumulating money, it's who you become in the process. I know a lot of very rich people who've lost their family and their health along the way. True wealth is understanding having wealth in every aspect of your life. And as I look at this screen, I have tremendous wealth from my friendships, my relationships, that power of association. One of my longest associations is with Doria. And certainly one of my longest mentoring associations is with Emily, and I'm so proud of her. And that's, the gift you get is when you give the gift away, right? You impact other people's lives, and then you see the mirror in them. I sit here just beaming because I see Emily's success and know that I may have played just a small part in getting her out there, and that just makes me thrilled.
A very big part.
So one more person, Alexi, I didn't see you. I'm so glad you text me. So this
Not
is
a problem, Ms. Doria.
Oh.
Ms. Sharon, I just wanted to say one thing. The difference you made in my life, there's no way I can pay back. And what I'm choosing to commit on this call and this beautiful meeting is to pay it forward. You've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people already, and I have not even gotten started. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to show up, shining your light, and being a true lighthouse in this crazy world sometimes. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's very special. You just more than made my day. Thank you.
And he loves, tell him the name of your community.
So for me, my community is called One Relationship Away because I truly believe that we're just one relationship away from the life of our dreams or the impact we can create in the world. And how I love creating leverage is by creating board of directors that are full of life-altering relationships, just like yourself, that changes not only the trajectory of your life, but the trajectory of your family, and more importantly, your community, once you actually have the right path.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, the
Thank
whole
you all.
teaching about proximity, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to let you go, Sharon. We kept you for so long. Thank you. Let's all say goodbye to her. Aloha.
Thank you so much. Love you all.
And
You are
by the way,
fabulous.
you guys can come back. Anybody that wants to come back in about 20 minutes for the after party. So Aziza, you can stay behind if you like. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep Dr. Emily and Alexi and Nick and Real be here. Thank you. Thank you. So Dr. Emily, so we'll put you back. I know you can't do anything. Yeah, somebody did it in the background for me. Thank you. Dr. Emily, I don't know whether you've had an opportunity to watch because you do have a little bit of a time constraint. I want you to teach for a little bit. Just share with us for a few minutes. What would be some of the distinctions that you would like to share with our audience, our worldwide audience, on how you, from that refugee camp and coming to America, and now you're very successful, you empower a lot of people, you are an investor, you are like me, you got to live the American dream, right? So what would you like to share about leadership and money?
Yes, thank you so much, Doria, for giving me this opportunity. I see my friends on the screen there, Alexei. I think the first thing that I learned is to understand money, right? And it's not just the money coming in, it's the money going out. It's what you do with the money, how you leverage the money. And we can call it money, but it's actually your wealth, like what Mom Sharon alluded to, your wealth in the relationship, your wealth in all the talents that work with you. So I've been very blessed, been a dentist for going on 33 years, have my multi-specialty group practices in different locations, successfully talked my daughter into becoming a dentist. So now I got that perfect opportunity to create wealth and create a legacy. And so for me, when you have the clarity on what you want, what's most important to you, what's the driving force behind your mission, then you just take particular steps to learn and to implement and get the right mentor. We were talking about me being mentored by Sharon Lecter. I remember when I first started working with her, and I would go on and on and on telling her about this new project that I wanted to do. And her simple question is, what is the revenue model? Which is, how are you going to make money with this, right? Because you cannot just make money with passion. You cannot go and deposit your hope and your love. You got to do something concrete. So I learned to think critically about, the next thing I'm going to do, what's most important to me. I learned to set the priorities, and that become part of leadership. Because as a leader, some of us think that if we own a business, then we are a natural leader, right? Because, I'm the boss. However, the true leaders will create leaders. And so it's about learning systems and empowering the people who work with you, so that when you step away, like I'm over here in Asia, on my pilgrimage, my daughter is running the offices, and she's been now as a dentist for 2 years. She got the staff supporting her. I still have specialists that come to the office. Create a business where you don't have to be there and it's still run. Create a business that produces the income where you can invest some of it back into your business, and you can invest other part of it into other businesses and grow more wealth, and invest part of it back to the community, giving back to the community. And I can't tell you how important that is. As a dentist, where I first moved from San Marino to Huntington Beach, when I was in the San Gabriel area, which is about an hour away, for 26 years, I see other people, bragging about their certificates and how much training they've done and all these letters behind their name. I always brag about charity, about how much I give away. It could be dollar, it could be money, it could be my time, it could be my support for the community. So I like for people to think about, when they think about wealth, it's not just money, it's the relationship, it's your time, it's your leadership that you're giving away. And that's why I'm so blessed that I have, at this point, people coming to me, sharing opportunities. Very proudly wear this shirt here, Lambo Sky, which is luxury commercial real estate inspired by Fabio Lamborghini. You wouldn't think a 13-year-old refugee kid coming from Vietnam is now working with $1 billion brand. With now being able to be on the international stage, and still trying to learn. With Doria, I'm looking forward to our time working together. I've been giving so many opportunities, like with Mo Rock, the CEO of Los Angeles Tribune, where he gave me the platform, he gave me the stage, so I can share my expertise, my thoughts, my influence, to help other people do exactly what I do, which is to live that American dream. And it's not just owning a house and owning a car. It's about doing things for other people, because I still believe that the American people are the most generous people in the world.
Dory, you muted.
Happens.
I thank you so much. I know that you have to leave soon. And so what I want to do is I just want to make sure I know, Alexis, anything you'd like to say to Dr. Emily before she goes? And I'm also going to be bringing up Donna. Donna, coming in. You're with your classmates here. But anything, Alexis, you want to say?
Dory, it's really funny. When I saw Miss Emily's name right next to mine, I was just laughing, and she knows exactly what I'm talking about. God has been bringing us closer and closer together for the amazing work we can do together. And this is just another reminder that, as soon as she gets back into the United States, we're going to be coming together and seeing how we can play together and create a bigger difference. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Well, she already has a dental program that she has to do, because she's a rock star in that field. So she's coming in July. Boy, are we going to have, but here we are coming up. in 4 weeks in San Diego. So thank you so much, everyone. Dr. Emily, we love you from the bottom of our hearts. You go on. I know you have an appointment, so you get a 2-minute break before your next call. And thank you for joining us, and our blessings and love, and give our love to Thailand. We have
Thank you so much.
Graduates. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Doria. Thank you, Alexei. Hey, Donna. The names are too small. I can't read, but I'm very blessed to be here, and thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts. And everybody, just go out there and just make it a great day.
Thank you.
Dr.
We have an after party. You can check in. You can check in. Who knows? We might still be here. We are.
You never know. Doria parties till the end every night.
When people want to leave, they leave, but we're famous for that. So let me see. I just wanted Realby. I WhatsApp you. Do you have a little time, or can I? Do you need?
Yep.
Okay, good, perfect. So thank you so much. So thank you for your patience, Nick and Alexis and my beautiful. Oh, where did Realby go? Wait, there you are. There you are. So I just wanted to check in with you. So here you are with Donna and Realby and Nick, right? They were just speaking of Thailand, we were just at the business school there. So Donna, do you want to ask them questions? Do you want to take over?
I want to ask. Oh, absolutely. I would love to ask some questions as well. And Ryle, I say it differently than Dame Doria. She says Ruby. Is that like a
So it's the easiest way to say my name is think of Jill with an R. Real.
Real. There we go. There we go.
Yes. And then Doria, my nickname, people often call me Real B because my last name starts with B. And it's just Australians. What Australians do is we lengthen short names and we shorten long names as nicknames. So that's what happened. So Real B became easier for people to say than Real, and people like to lengthen short names here.
And I pronounce it correctly. I don't like to miss it. If I just say Real alone, it doesn't sound right, but Realby sounds perfect. Unless it sounds like Ruby. Realby sounds like Ruby.
Yeah.
It does. It does. It does.
Yes.
So
Yes, great to see you. Great to see you, Nick and Donna. Nice to meet you, Alexi. So Nick and Donna, we just had an amazing experience in Thailand together, right? With the business school in November. It feels like it was yesterday. It's gone so fast. So it was just brilliant to be there with you both as you went through the business school. So yeah, super exciting to see you here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And today we've been talking about leadership and money all day long. I've been on with Dame Doria the entire time, off and on. And Real, what you shared a little bit about the story of being on the cruise and then coming away with some licensing agreements. Why teach this and share all of the wisdom to others?
Well, I think that earlier in this conversation, people were talking about opportunities and offering opportunities and taking up opportunities. And really, ultimately, that became a full circle experience for me. Having graduated Money and You at 22, it had a huge impact on my life personally and professionally, financially, really in every way. And so it was actually why I suggested that Doria join that trip. And then we had such a great time and reconnected. And of course, if I could give Money and You to everyone and anyone, I would want people to take that opportunity up because it's so life and business and wealth transforming. So it's, to me, I was talking to a client. So what I do now, other than running Money and You and our events business, where we do the whole accelerated curriculum, I have a private advisory firm where I help people grow their businesses, and we produce really significant results there, like taking one client from 85 million to 245 million in 4 years flat, another client from 33 to 104 in the same time, about 44 months. Someone from 750,000 to 3 million, and Money and You is always incorporated into the work. So pretty much all of my advisory clients do Money and You because is, I call it the secret sauce. It speeds people up. It has them see stuff they couldn't see before, and suddenly they can see opportunity and pathways that they couldn't see. So for me, in those conversations this week with one of those clients, I was reminding them that in my world, leadership is an absolute privilege. So it's an absolute privilege to be a leader. It's a privilege to lead people inside your business, versus the way that a lot of business owners relate to their team is like just one more problem they have to handle, versus actually leadership is a privilege. You have the opportunity and the rare gift to influence and mentor and guide someone to go from where they are now, and you can see their potential, and your job as a leader is to help close that gap, and help them close that gap. So for me, Money and You is a way to fast track some of that gap closing as leaders and in business and financially. So to me, it's an absolute privilege for Craig and I to make Money and You available in this region. And it's just a gift. So, and we get to, Alexa, you said pay it forward. We get to pay it forward. I had the privilege and blessing of doing Money and You so young that for me, paying it forward, this is part of my paying it forward. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Leadership is a privilege. Being able to offer this work in this country and around and the regions that we're going to play in is a privilege. So yeah, it's a gift.
I think that is just beautiful. Leadership is a gift. Miss Dame Doria?
Yes.
So in response, leadership is a gift. I absolutely believe that, because not everyone gets to be in that role. So I guess maybe how do we take that, nurture it, use it, and mentor others, or to show them the way that leadership is a gift? Because sometimes there are people in leadership roles that ought not be in leadership roles.
Correct.
So who are you asking?
Oh,
You.
both of you.
Oh,
We have masters here in this room. I want to know both. You said I could ask questions, so here we are.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I was just going to say, you go through different stages of leadership. All right. So when you make a lot of mistakes, and the reflection is the reaction to people. And I think now you all remember that I'm a Money and You graduate. Okay. Remember, this work was created by genius. And I love to put the word out about the Money and You book, because it's the history of the work. And it was created by Marshall Thurber and Bobby DePorter and a whole team of people that created tremendous success in the 70s. And they combined, all of these human potential, self-mastery principles with business principles. And so I attended the first business school. I attended the second Money and You ever, and it was designed for me to have a job. And so I started very young. At 29 years old, I got thrown into the fire by starting to lead a group of people. And eventually when I came to the realization that one of the biggest things was working on myself, because everyone was kind of like a reflection of everything that didn't work for me. And then also gratitude. And so somebody said to me, and I've had a couple of people that were very interesting, that in the Money and You book, okay, this is the first volume, about a third of it is having acknowledgement and having people that were thankful for the work, including, and they're very thankful for it. And so I included them, and they said, most people are not going to be happy reading 1/3 of a book that is all about people and their experience of the program and their names are listed and all of that. And it's like, this book was for them, because the graduates are the ones who got us here. It was the networks. And so we are in the 5th reiteration of Money and You. So you have, Money and You 1.0 with Marshall Thurber, then he retired. Money and You 2.0 was when Kiyosaki and I were business partners. Money and You 3.0 was when my ex-husband and I worked at the business for, in Singapore for 4 years. And then Money and You 5.0, 4.0, hold on, is the one that, you know what I mean, the next number was me now developing up until now. And then 5.0 is what we're creating in North America. But all of this, yes, I get it that I've been the leader and I carry the torch and I spend the millions to make sure that this work continues. But the bottom line is appreciation and loving the people that got us there. I mean, this work would cost $20,000 a program if it wasn't for the 20 people that volunteer to make sure that the program goes well and they put it all together and work with me and the teams and all the people. So you have to have appreciation, but it has to be real. People really need to feel the love that you have for them and the gratitude that you have. So I'm getting, as I'm starting to exit at 76, I got 4 years to go. The core is appreciation. I wish I had been that clear when I was 29 years old, because I took a lot for granted as a young person. And because I was so young and I didn't know, I just kept thinking that people, yes, they were getting a lot of value out of it. So I probably didn't thank them enough. But now I think that gratitude, working on yourself, and then creating, and this is what the promoting partners are so good. And thank you to Wilby and her husband and the team and all the promoting partners, and my beautiful JC that was here a little bit earlier, is the creating the space for people to keep growing and learning, growing and learning. And that's what the promoting partners do. And I think that they learned that from me, hopefully. So that's it. And there's much. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There we go. Wilby, you the same question.
So I think, I leadership is definitely a privilege. Leadership is definitely a gift, and also, I think what you're doing, Nick, and even what you're doing here today, Donna, LA Tribune, and creating this platform, is leading others to see what's possible. So, and opening up new thoughts and new actions as a result of that. So, Nick, I'm sure in your journey with clients, you're leading them through a health journey, right? So, and people need to be led in the areas that they're not subject matter experts. So I think, it's such a gift that to be able to do that. And I also feel it's really important to decide the kind of leader you want to be. So you have to think about, in my experience, you have to think about the kind of leader you want to be. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be seen as? And then being authentic to that all the time, or as often as possible, because we're not perfect, we're human beings and we make mistakes, right? But as often as possible, staying true to, this is who I say I want to be. This is what I'm committed to. And usually when we do this work, we ask our clients that are wanting to grow their businesses and so on, to identify at least 3 leaders in their lives or out in the world that there are characteristics about those leaders that they aspire to. And then we have them practice being that way until it actually settles in and that's who they become. So, and we constantly growing into who the leader we're really going to be, right? So, prior to being the CEO of a $100 million company, I didn't know how to lead a $100 million company and 200 people, but I grew into that role. I declared who I wanted to be as a leader in that role and then grew into it. So I think we all have to look at who we want to be and then practice being that. We won't always be that, but practice being it. And I love what Doria said about being grateful. Being grateful for the team, being grateful for the opportunity, being grateful for being in a position, like you said, Donna, not everyone gets to be in the position of leader, being grateful for being in that position. I had someone else say, oh my God, the response, one other client is growing, got a big business, and the responsibility of being the leader was like a burden. She was experiencing it as a complete and utter burden. And we just had a big conversation about, hang on, if it's all on you, great. If it's everything in this business is a reflection of you, what can you do about that? So instead of it being a burden, it's an opportunity, because if this business is a reflection of me and I'm responsible for all of it, well, actually, what an opportunity. Because if there's anything not working, I can fix it. And if there's everything that's working, I can go, great, let's keep the things that are working and work on the stuff that isn't. I've got complete control over that. So, and you can get the support you need, obviously, in places like this, and Money in You and so on. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I've had a little rant about further musings on leadership.
Yeah, we talk about brightness of future. You mentioned this reel. I mean, it's super important to show people that their life is within their grasp. They just have to, be intentional and choose. And I think that's a big part of what I've learned recently in business school and the Leadership Mastery program that I have the wonderful ability to be with Donna and Reel in. We just get the opportunity to choose the life that we want to live, choose the things that we want to change. Get to take a long, hard look at who we are and say, am I comfortable with who I am? And then you get to make adjustments. Step to the left, step to the right.
Absolutely.
So Alexi, you've been listening to this conversation here for the last several minutes. What would you like to share? Or as Dame Doria says, what say you?
Well, I think one of my favorite quotes that I'd love to add to the conversation: with great power comes great responsibility. Right? It comes from Spider-Man. I don't know where it comes from before that. And one of my experiences in my leadership journey was actually the ultimate leadership camp through T. Harv Eker. And one of the biggest takeaways I was able to take away from that experience was that I was actually having a conversation with God, and God said, what is leadership? I said, well, leadership is service. Well, when you have a gift of leadership and you're choosing not to exercise, what are you creating? You're creating a disservice. So for me, after building a small side hustle into a 7-figure company with the support of my family and my amazing team, I realized that I was living a life of luxury, not a life of meaning. And that's where my life started shifting into service, and realizing that after 15 years of turnaround consulting, as much as I loved it and I was very good at it, it didn't move the needle for me anymore. And so what I started choosing to stand for is to stand for the thought leadership in our world. And I want to invite each and every one of you who's listening to this talk, consider that for yourself. What is that one idea or conversation that you would love to be a part of? What is that one concept that you want to champion? What is that one problem that you're taking responsibility of solving in this world? Who are some of the people in your world that need just a little bit of support to take their next step, and then the next? Make it simple. And one of the things, speaking of leverage, as we've been talking throughout this conversation, one of the things I realized that our greatest asset is our time. Our second greatest asset is our knowledge. And our third greatest asset is our relationships. So in my humble opinion, one of the best things that we can do with our time is invest it wisely into creating really quality content. And not just do it in a old school form like a book, which is great. But my invitation to each and every one of you, think bigger. Allow people to experience your work, your thoughts, and the ideas that will change the world through all of media, meaning written, voice, and being seen. Because it does make a difference. So that's one of the things I wanted to add to the conversation is that, what ideas are you choosing to be a champion for? And who are the people that are not somewhere, but in your world that can use just a little bit of support? They can use that hand up, not a handout. because I truly believe that's how we change the world, one person, one family, and one community at a time, by reconnecting the world while everybody tells us to separate. So that's what I wanted to add to the conversation.
That was beautifully said.
May I say that my experience of you is exactly that. You are constantly asking me, what support do you need? And you show up. You're really, really living the principles. And by the way, I freaking love your house. I am not a desert person, but you have the most beautiful house with that. I mean, right in the heart of the valley. You know, you guys, you can create your own reality. He lives in one of the most, what I thought, oh no, we're going to another valley house. But for some reason, he found this beautiful place that is like in the middle of the desert, and it's only like 15 minutes away from the bustling city. Talk about the Great Spirit really, you know, giving you gifts. And thank you for your loving support and just how, you know, we're going to grow North America. And can I just ask, you know, Nick, thank you so much for showing up. And I know that your mom is watching and your family is watching. Is there anything that you would like to share with everyone out there that's coming to just experience you here and being with all these rock stars, and anything that you would like to share on how you grow your business?
Well, I think the thing that I've been focused on most recently is that business is a reflection of me. And I find myself in the spot that you were in, I think, Doria. You're 29 years old and starting. So I'm taking a long, hard look at myself and how I'm showing up in my relationships and in my business. And we kind of find a problem in one area. And I think this is a good question for us to ask ourselves is, where else is that showing up for me? And oftentimes the answer is everywhere. You know, that same issue it's a reflection of every aspect in your life. And so one of the things that I have noticed recently is I haven't been as intentional as I would like to have been with where I'm spending my time, which, Alexi, you mentioned is our most valuable asset. I'm filing that away, your trio of most valuable assets. Such a powerful concept and thought. So I've really been focused on keeping and being very intentional with how I spend my time, and some of the tools that I learned at business school, using the PERT chart, and just really getting a very clear idea of what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to do it, and who do I need on board to help me solve all the problems that I am and will face over growing a beautiful, big business.
Leverage.
And a beautiful big business that makes a difference, right? To Alexi's point, I think it's really important. You know, we all have to take a stand for something. So, you know, I in being the people that bring money in, we took a stand for transformation, right? With my business clients, I am a stand for growth. They will grow their business come hell or high water. You're a stand for health, right? So you're a stand for making a difference in a very structured and sometimes challenging system, right? So I think, you know, leading from that stand is what you're really doing.
Thank you, Real. And totally, I think the brightness of future, I'm coming back to this, you just have to show people that the way that they've been programmed and they've been educated is maybe not the only answer. You know, maybe there's other potential options out there that they weren't aware of. And if they, you know, really invest in themselves and think of themselves as the one who can make all the decisions, it's not all on the doctor, it's not all on the expert for them to make the best decision for themselves, then the door opens for more expansive and more potentially embodied and transformational interventions that are out there. And you never know what you can do if you just lean into your own intuition and what you could do to heal yourself.
Amazing.
Thank you. Wow. So listen, you guys have presents, right? Nick, I think you had a gift that you can give to people, right? Yeah, yeah. So just let us know, and all of you. So I think we're moving, Donna, we're moving officially into the after party.
I think so.
And I just want to make sure, Mo, just come and say goodbye in case you don't want to party with us. Come in and say hello. I'd love to have Mo. I never let him rest.
Well, it's a pleasure and privilege to be here amongst all these wonderful leaders. And as always, when we have these programs at the Los Angeles Tribune, it's all about changing the status quo. And it's all about bringing thought leaders that maybe will never have an opportunity to meet each other. Maybe don't have opportunities from mainstream media outlets to share their ideas. But here at the Los Angeles Tribune, it's a space. It's a space for you to be able to express your ideas. And we have, for 6 years now, going on 7 years, we've been creating a compound effect of ideas. And these ideas have spread around the world. And I say that, whether it's this program or any other program, if one person from all these people that you've been listening for the last 4 hours, if one person watching had their life transformed in a positive way, our mission is accomplished. It's not about quantity. It's about that one person that needs to hear what we have to say. If it was about quantity for us, we'd be talking about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt or something like that. Stuff that'll get a lot of eyeballs. But we're talking about concepts that we know are going to reach the people that it needs to reach. And those are the principles of our company. Again, I just want to share, we're so excited to have the upcoming world tour for the Pillars of Power film series. This is the first of a 6-film series where over 6 films, you're going to learn from the greatest thought leaders around the world, the Jack Canfields, the Michael Beckwiths, the Sharon Lecters, the Ken Hondas, the Dr. John DeMartinis, the John Asrafs, Dr. Joe Vitalis, Doria Cordova. You're going to be learning principles to help you lead your life financially, mentally, spiritually, physically, and relationally. And John Gray is also going to be part of our future films as well. So it's an honor. It's a pleasure. We're going to have so many wonderful announcements. I can honestly say I've never been as excited with respect to the projects that we're doing as I have been today. I can honestly say I've never felt as good about the blessing of being a leader as I have been today, March 11th. And I'm feeling great because I know that the best is yet to come. And we have so many wonderful things. And I want to invite you all. If you feel inspired by the work that we're doing, reach out to Donna Campbell. She's very accessible. She's the most accessible VP that I know. She's very humble and she's accessible. Reach out to her, have a conversation, and let's find a way to work together to make the world a better place.
Can I redo my part now that I lost 15 pounds?
We'll just film you for a future movie.
Okay.
Now with AI and post editing being post production being so easy, that's a prompt. So just let us know what you.
Yeah, all you have to do.
If only she was AI.
All you have to do is spend 10 days in silence on Maui.
We'll get your digital twin going.
Yeah, you just have to get up at 4 in the morning and get up and leave at 9. Trust me, you will lose 10 pounds too. Oh, it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun to have all of you. So maybe one final words, those were Mo, final words. Aziza, anything you'd like to say before you go? Anything you'd like to connect with these wonderful people?
Yes, yes, indeed. The conversations that we were having earlier on, one thought that came very strong about leadership is what about Mr. Fuller we talk about is what you have to do is what you see the world is not doing about it, and we are taking the lead in doing it, right? So the change that we want to see in the world, and what is the gap, the missing gap that we can fit in and become the problem solver in our community. So that leadership requires so much of commitment, and we can only give that commitment when we are very clear and aligned to that purpose that we have taken on. So I feel that, and that takes a lot of courage. And I love that Dr. Nick actually ended up by saying the kind of fear that comes with that leadership is just so huge. And the more we speak into it, the more we go through the process of layers of whatever that could hold us back, I feel then we are really living a fulfilling life. You know, the results show up, the people show up, the situations show up for us to, you know, do our work. And I feel that that is where it's really wonderful. And our Go Global Conscious Leadership Framework is all about that. It came out of that. And so is our whole dynamics that mentored by Dame Doria's, you know, Accelerated Business School. So we're really grateful for the kind of community we have put together. And I have to say, being a conscious community builder, the fact that it's time for the world of conscious communities to come together. So conscious co-creation is on the table for us to come in and come up with creative ways. And that's where our movement, if you can see the QR code, we're so excited to bring this movement to the world, a movement from Asia about conscious synergy, as well as, you know, really bridging people to impact capital and investment. So we are building this community that we welcome everyone. And Mo, your community is such an impact creator around the world. We'd love to see where the synergy, and I've been having conversations with Donna, how we can take it forward. And of course, led by the Accelerated Business School family, we're really, you know, aligned to so many important values. And I just want to say this before we conclude, you know, at the beginning of my journey in entrepreneurship, I said, I only want to work with graduates and no one else. And then I went into a space, and that's where Doria comes to my events, because every time she comes to my event, it's like, how many Money New graduates? And it'd be like, 1, 2 hands, because I started gathering these people who are non-Money New graduates. And I told myself, yeah, people go through their journey, and, you know, there will be opportunity for them to come through the program. So I started working with this community. But, you know, at the core of it, oh my God, if we don't have the principal alignments that we learn through the Money and You program in such a experiential way, it's so challenging. I want to, for the least to say. So it's really so important to align with values. And then there's some level of connectivity. One of the fastest growing partners that we have currently is a Money New graduate. It's such an ease, you know, just like that, we get each other. So it's so important to have aligned values as leaders, and then as communities coming together. So that's where I feel the work of Money New has done an amazing work, communities coming together. So I look forward to, you know, connect with everyone and see how best we can move more effectively in a world that looks dysfunctional. But I feel that it is the responsibility of entrepreneurs and change makers to say, let's lead this together. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Just so you guys know, we are cooking some things that are so big, and I can't talk about it because I haven't had a chance to tell my partners yet. I keep saying, let's have a meeting, a Realby and the other promoting partners, because there are some amazing things. But all of you, like, be really nice to Aziza because she's opened up what it will be. You know, we'll be able to talk about it in a few months' time, but we're opening up, you know, and she's connecting me to people that, you know, they're working with training and working with and funding, you know, like training 1 million children in India, and, you know, and doing the most magnificent work in Mexico and magnificent work in Middle East and all of that. And this is all happening. This is all for you and for all of you listening. So the ocean of abundance has finally reached, because I said, okay, I'm exiting. So, okay, what can we do for the next 4 years? And the floods have just opened up. And it's like the floodgates have opened up and go, we'll show you that you're gonna complete your legacy in such a beautiful way. And maybe that's the way it was supposed to happen, right? So the last 20% is happening in such a big way. So it's gonna turn into the 80%. That's a whole other teaching. So please stay connected and know that. And this is part of it. I want to really thank Mo and Donna. Thank you. because it's always so much even more beautiful than I ever expected to be. And it's all just, whoo, it just flows right into it. So Rilby, what would you like to say before we go?
I'd just like to say thank you. Thanks to Mo and Donna and the team at LA Tribune for hosting this. It's always fun and a privilege to be with you. It's very inspiring to see what you're up to, making such a positive platform in the media space. That's incredibly powerful and unique. So it's always just fun and a privilege to be with you. So thank you for having me. And Aziza, great to see you as always up to big things, making a difference. And Nick, keep taking your stand. It's so amazing. And Alexa, lovely to meet you. And Doria, I love you. And Craig and I send all our love and thank you. And it's been a privilege.
Wow. So who wants to go? Alexi, you want anything you'd like to say as we complete? We'll let Donna have the last word.
I would love to add this to the conversation. It was actually inspired by Nick. One of the greatest lessons that I learned way too late is the fact that I was trained into trying to solve problems by myself by asking, how can I do this? Versus having a better question, asking yourself, who can I ask to help or partner with? And I was going to give a great gift to this community, and I want to do something maybe even stupid. I want to give you guys the ultimate gift. I would love to give you guys a training that I've taken my high-end clients through. It's called Building Your Board of Directors. This is a step-by-step. How do you create that first person, that next person, your board of directors, your power circle, your inner circle, and everything that you need, not only to impact your own life or business, but to really start creating a movement around what you do, where your heart is at, and the impact you can create in the world. So that's my gift to you guys. You guys can scan the QR code. I'll have my assistant redirect it, but the eventual web address will be leverage.is/gift, because I'm all about leverage, and you deserve to leverage your time, your money, and the impact you're choosing to create in the world, because life is too short not to create an impact.
So let's repeat that again, that webpage you just said. Somebody write it down.
It's leverage.is/gift. Or
Okay.
even easier, they can just scan the QR code. Oh,
Yeah.
somewhere there.
Yeah.
Scan the QR code, and I'll have my assistant redirect you, just in case you guys can't get the address. We'll make it easy.
How exciting it is for me to hear the word leverage everywhere. Earlier we had our beautiful Stacy, and she and I connected because I was telling her when we first met that Money and You is all about leverage. The book was the whole leveraging. She goes, her whole system is around leverage. And when I really have to get to Marshall and give him his book. I've been so busy. And I was, when the last time that I saw him, and I was talking to him last year when I got his blessing on, because there was no way that I was going to write his story without him blessing it, right? And so he did. I was going to change it, whatever he wanted, and he changed nothing. I was like, praise the Lord Jesus. Oh my God, I got it right? And then I said, hey, Marshall, if I remember correctly, you're the guy that put the word leverage in the context of entrepreneurship and business on the planet. And he goes, yeah, I think so. Well, maybe not. I don't know, because he's very shy about it. But when we were at the first business school for entrepreneurs in 1978, he started talking about leverage and all this. None of us had heard that before. And so it was like the word leverage was leverage buyout. It was a word that was used in the money in Wall Street. It was in that circle. And then when he started using it and for leverage this, leverage that, and just how it is used now, it was like all of us were, wow, how come we never used that word like that before? And then now you fast forward, right? 48 years. It's everywhere. And it's like, yes, yes, yes. The same thing with Mona Simeona, the word Ho'oponopono, right? We're total trendsetters. And you know what, Alexi, when I hear that you start with Harv Eker, thank you. Thank you. Because I'm so excited. Because Harv spent 7 years with us and everything. Right behind
Well, the
me.
original person that started me on the journey was Robert Kiyosaki and
Yeah,
Sharon Lecter, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But yes, T. Harv,
You're
I
on
ended
my
up
track.
going through his entire catalog.
Yes, and thank God for that. And we had Brad Sugar. We had him earlier that he was sharing and how he got his start on that and all the, and how what he took and did this work. Amazing. So did you feel complete, Nick, or do you want to, before Donna closes all this up, you feel
Yeah,
complete?
I'd like to share one thing. Alexi, thank you for that gift. I'm definitely going to take you up on that. Heartborn Health needs a new board of directors. So thank you for that. Grateful for the opportunity to come on here, Mo and Donna, and speak with you all. Our Buckminster Fuller thinks we're going to live to 140. And in order to do that, we're going to need to be very strong. And so my gift is around weightlifting. I don't have a fancy QR code, but if you are somebody who needs to get started on your weightlifting journey and you want some support, I have a PDF and I will send it to you. If you go to nicholas.pippert@gmail.com, I will send you that PDF. We can get
Okay, so is your name Nick Pippert?
Yes, Nicholas, NICKOLAS .PIPPERT@gmail.com.
Okay, somebody write that on the whatever platform you're in. Thank you so much. I love gifts. And thank you so much. And so let me see, everybody is pretty much complete. And you know that John Gray was on. You guys couldn't see him because you don't have access to the back. But John just left. He only left about, 15 minutes ago. He was having so much fun with all of us. I was going to bring him back up, but he left. And, that's a really big acknowledgement. Somebody like John Gray sits there and is listening to all this beautiful conversation. Donna, what's it do as we complete?
Yes, I'm going to keep my comments short, simple, and sweet. Thank you so much, everybody who was out watching on all of our channels and platforms, all of our different speakers that came on. The pleasure, it was truly an honor for me to co-host with Dame Doria alongside our CEO, Mo Rock, at the Los Angeles Tribune, because honestly, that is the greatest gift ever. So thank you. Thank everybody.
Thank you. And we're really grateful to all the people that have gotten the Los Angeles Tribune to this point. And some are still around, some have moved on, some are like queens and kings in another realm. And we are so, so happy for all of them. We stand on the shoulders of many people. That's why, our work just will continue. And we're grateful to everyone. So thank you so much. Any last word, my Mo?
You're absolutely right. I sentiment everything you said, and it's been a pleasure and privilege. And, I think we scheduled this program to be 4 hours, and we're heading into almost 5. So that just goes to show you how time flies when you're having fun. And of course, I sentiment everything you just said, and I share that same sentiment. And thank you all again. Dr. Nick, I look forward to connecting with you to learn more about what you offer on a personal level. I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym. So God bless everyone. And we're going to hear a short message from our special advisor before we end the stream. Thank you so much to everyone.
Aloha.
Hi, my name is Jeff Sano. I'm a retired CIA operations officer. Right now, I am working as a special advisor to the LA Tribune because they have such a great track record in inspiring, in motivating, and in guiding their community in the events of the day and how to move forward to the benefit of everyone.